Testing, can you hear me? Yeah, Xenoblade Music's where it's at. Let's see here. Satoral Marsh Night is always good. Quiet. Yeah, I'll move my mic closer, but maybe not a whole lot I can do about that. I'll just give a few minutes when people find out what's going on. I know it's a little late, so I don't expect too many people to be able to show up, but we'll do what we can. Best part about this song is the setting that you walk through when it plays. It's just really gorgeous. Nighttime with glowing trees in a swamp. It's really pretty. Okay, maybe that's long enough. Getting some of these here. Fade out like a pro, something like that. Okay, so it's been a while since I've done one of these, but decided tonight that it'd be kind of cool to talk about this set that was just posted to Bass's channel on, I guess it was yesterday, so Saturday. It's Delta Rayquaza. Now, first of all, I always thought that was Delta Rayquaza. Am I the only person who thought it was Rayquaza? I don't play a lot of Pokemon, so I don't know how to pronounce these things, but like, I feel like when I looked it up on the wiki, it was Rayquaza. I was like, wait a minute. Am I like, is my whole world just shattered right now? So anyway, I'm going to call him Delta so that nobody gets mad at me. How's that? Delta versus Ectopic Illusion, and we're going to call him Illusion so I don't stutter for the entire set. So this is Eyedol versus Cinder, and Delta is one of the, well, probably the only real Eyedol player who represents him at a decently high level. He's played in tournaments. He actually came in second in one of the 8-bit beatdowns. Yeah, sorry about my Steam notifications there. Yeah, he plays Eyedol in tournaments. Does pretty good. He's got sort of these unique Eyedol setups, and you'll be seeing a lot of those in this set, where he does shadow meteors and then tries to mix you up in a bunch of crazy ways. So we'll talk about the risk reward of that and how to stop it and how to capitalize on that when it comes through. And Illusion is a Cinder player who I believe he went to World Cup this year, and he did pretty well. I don't know if he was in the last chance or in the top 32. Maybe somebody who knows can remind me, but I believe he did beat some good players there on his way to his finish. So he's definitely no stranger to high-level KI. Maybe not the household name to a lot of people who are following KI from the outside, but definitely somebody to watch out for. And we are going to talk about this set. And again, this is a matchup that is not seen too often. Again, just because Cinder is actually quite common. Definitely, like, for example, base plays Cinder. Raven as Raw is picking him up now, and there's, Domi played Cinder back in Season 2, and we've got this sort of, there are a couple of core Cinder players that know the matchups well. So you see Cinder often, but Eyedol not as much, ever since he got nerfed after his launch patch, where he was quite strong, to say the least. He lost a bunch of stuff, but not really all that much when you think about it. Like, he still has a lot of really strong tools. I personally think he is maybe a sleeper top 5 character, but certainly in the discussion for, top 8 or so. If you talk about the best characters in the game, I think Eyedol is on your kind of medium to short list for where you want to put him near the top there. So the reason is just because I think both bodies are actually quite good at almost everything. Well, we'll talk more about that as we get in, but we can talk about where different bodies succeed and where they don't against Cinder in particular, because that's the match we'll be watching. So yeah, and again, just in case people come back and check this out later on the stream, when I like to talk about fighting games in general, so you'll be hearing me say things like, oh, you should have done this, or maybe think about doing that instead. Please don't take that as I'm better than these players, or I think these players are bad, or anything like that. This is not, we don't do that on this stream. We're just here to talk about decision making and like cool combos and like the fun stuff that happens in fighting games. So there's no pretension here, just talking about a match. So if the two players who are playing watch this analysis later, that's something to keep in mind. So yeah, let's start. Again, this is on Base's channel. I will post, this will be on YouTube later. I'll upload it to YouTube, and I'll make sure to put the link in the description. And I would really encourage you guys to just click the link, even if you don't watch the whole set on his channel, just give him a view. We need to make sure that we respect the original poster and give him the view that he needs. So keep that in mind when you're watching this, and let's full screen this here. Let me know if I drop frames, by the way. My bitrate is probably a little low, and I'm downloading this is 720 at 60, so I don't know if my internet will keep up. Let me know, and I'll downgrade the quality of the video if I have to. Alright, let's see what happens here. Starts in mage form. So right away, oh, and again, I will be pausing and rewinding and doing a bunch of stuff. I also have Killer Instinct open in the background. Is it open here? Somewhere here. There we go. Just in case I need to feel like, playing around with training mode and like exploring a particular setup that comes into place. Oh, Illusion is in chat. How's it going? Hopefully this is useful to you and to everyone else as well. The stream is quite a bit louder than me. Okay, I will lower the desktop audio a bit. let me know if this is any better. So, okay, what I wanted to talk about there was right away you see that he hits with low lightning. So low lightning is a particularly good move for mage. Covers really, like it's very fast along the ground. You can jump over it, but if he throws a meteor or like the medium lightning, you'll get hit most likely. It's actually quite difficult to, like you can just block, but this move does a surprising amount of chip. I believe it's actually 2%. So if you block 3 of them, you've just taken 6% chip. Actually, let's just take a look at that because I actually want to find out the number here. I'll do Cinder just because whatever. And wonderful training or PC loading times. So let's turn regen health off and block to all. So watch that chip. That is substantial. That is like, can we turn on attack data here? The fun of playing Eyedol in training mode, you have to keep doing this. So it says 2 damage. So 2 damage is 360 on a life bar, so 36 is 10%, and 3.6 will be, am I doing that math right? Yeah, so 2% damage, and you can see this adds up real quick. You don't want to be blocking a lot of these, and Meteor actually does about the same amount. Oh, the Meteor does 6, never mind, I'm even worse. So it does 3 times as much. Well, I think what's happening there is it's hitting twice. I know why this number is lower than I thought. It's because it's hitting twice, and it's doing 2% each time, or 2 damage each time. So it adds up to 4 total, which is, you know, like 1.5% or so. So we're talking like this is pretty brutal. You don't want to be blocking this too long. So let's see here. I was going to say, yeah, immediately he hits with low lightning, and a lot of Eyedol players, and what I personally recommend most Eyedol players do, is they do low lightning, it's a combo, but it fills the KV, and then you do a teleport, so you build a pip, right? Here's the pips down here. I don't know if my mouse is showing. Probably not. I think I turned off mouse input on my screen. But anyway, there's pips above Eyedol's shadow meter down there. And the mage form builds pips for the warrior form and vice versa. So you want these teleports to hit so that you can build a stronger rushdown for your warrior form. But what Delta does here is he actually tries to reset with overhead. Low, and instead of teleport, he tries to reset with overhead meteor. Illusion is ready for it and blocks. This command grab is incredibly strong. I think it does only 3%. You can see there the damage total is only 3%, but it builds the mage pip, so that's important, and I think mage pips are really good. Also, what's important here is that Eyedol is +4 right in your face, and he is in range without walking for another command grab, right? So if we're doing this, like you can just mash command grab and you can get him again. You don't have to move at all. So you're +4, and you have this 6-frame button that's like right in the guy's face, so he has to like make a serious read there. So you can't just, like, getting hit by command grab is low damage, sure, but it sets Eyedol up for like exactly what he wants. So he backdashes, gets out of there. Throw. Meaty, and immediate guess break is oh, drop combo. Now I know Delta loves to prefer one chance. He's even mentioned that to us personally in Discord at one point. He prefers one chance because he doesn't like getting broken. I think that's okay for Eyedol because his damage is actually not overly high in general. And if you can do like one chance into pip stuff, like for example with mage, or if you do one chance into wall splat and get a command grab as warrior and build a pip that way, I think this type of engine actually works decently well for Eyedol. But you'll have to watch that. If Illusion tries to guess break more often, I think Delta should be ready to extend his combo. And I also want to mention that I believe this match was played across ocean. So I think Delta lives in Ireland or the UK somewhere, and I believe Illusion is North America. you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on either of those, but lag might play a small factor here. So if people drop combos or, you know, are late on breakers a little bit, I think we can chalk that up to some lag. But just keep that in mind as we're watching. That's an interesting combo, again, that Delta prefers here. He does one chance into launcher. Okay, so he does one chance into mage here. He switched in the middle and managed to pick up the combo, so that's cool. But if you do a launcher ender with mage, a lot of people will just immediately do teleport because they want that pip, they value it. What Delta likes to do is instead he does heavy lightning here, and then he does meteor, this light meteor, like really close to him. It didn't work there, probably some sort of, you know, did he blow out the combo? Is that what happened? Yeah, he blew out the combo, that's why it didn't work. But that would bounce him, and then he gets heavy lightning, which is unbreakable because it's a projectile. Meteor, which is unbreakable because it's a projectile. And if he switches stance back to warrior anytime in there, he just does shadow uppercut as a cash out. So that's cool. And if he doesn't switch, then he will do the teleport at the end of all that, and it still works. So that's a pretty cool sequence. If you're willing to play with the switching a bit more, you can get a little bit more damage and still keep your teleport chance open. Well, that must have been a... Yeah, he wasn't too sure what to do there. Definitely was an input mistake. 0 on block is the forward heavy punch here, the 3-hit swing. He knows Cinder has no meter to shadow counter, so he gets to keep his 0 frame advantage from, or his 0 on block from a lot farther away than he would otherwise, so this is cool. He loses the 50-50 at the end there. And Delta chooses to burn out the arms, so that's interesting because this takes away a lot of the mage, takes away all the meteors and all the lightning from the mage form, and a lot of Eyedol's best rushdown is the punch buttons. So I think punch is a very smart thing to do here. I think either form, punch is the best choice. And if you ever burn out, from neutral, I think you should always pick punch. He does target combo into fake out here. Now that's actually, believe it or not, that's plus on block. You can do jab, 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 and the fake out fission, and you're still plus there. So that's a real mix-up. Throws the bomb, fakes out, yeah, see, gets to block, hits the bomb on him. Can't shadow counter an instinct. Now here's the setups. Here we go. Now that's really hard to see, and I think it's even harder to see, probably on my low bit rate. So I apologize for that. If you're playing the game live, it's a lot easier to see what's happening there. Basically, what he does is so in Eyedol's Instinct, you get the benefits of both bodies at the same time. So that includes both special moves that are mapped to a command get executed at the same time. That includes enders. So if Eyedol does quarter circle forward punch ender, that becomes both the launcher ender and the battery ender. So what happens there, he does like the club slam, which launches them, and then he does like a shock of lightning, which builds extra meter. And then he does shadow uppercut with the meter he just built and sends all these meteors coming down on top of you. And then he has like real mix-ups there where he can go low, command grab, he can teleport on either side. He can try and fit in like a slower overhead in there. But the thing is that this is pretty costly because, first of all, it costs a bar. Sure, you can build bar in your combo, so that's okay. But it costs a lot of Eyedol's instinct time, and Eyedol is a relatively low damage character who needs instinct to get damage. So if you just get hit by the meteors, and this is where I think I will say this about Cinder, is that if he gets hit by the meteors after doing DP, like say he once doesn't want to deal with the mix-up and he just flash kicks out, right? His flash kick is invincible until he's airborne. So that means he'll get hit out of the air. Even if Eyedol blocks the DP, he'll just get hit out of the air. And I did the math a little earlier because I was actually curious for myself. It's only 2% damage for the meteors. Eyedol can recapture you, but it's a recapture breakpoint, so you might get out with only like 3 or 4% damage, 5%, something like that. And even if you let the whole combo rock, because he's given up his first frame or his first hit bonus damage, it's only like 12 to 15%, and Eyedol spent lots of meter, and his instinct is entirely drained. In this game, I generally think if you can get away, if you can lose only about 15% life, from your opponent's instinct, I think that's like a total win, right? I think it's really important to not necessarily like you want to minimize the damage you take, but it can't always be 0. So I think a reasonable target over like an average is about, if you limit your opponent's damage to only about 10 to 15%, I think you're doing actually quite well. So the nice thing about this is that Cinder can actually force that to happen just by DPing. Doesn't break the medium Trailblazer. Instead, guess breaks. Is that enough? Might be enough. Yes, it is enough. Alright, well, wasn't able to take any extra, and you can see Delta trying to get back into Mage form. I think he really likes Mage against Cinder. This is strong control now. He has to block this. So let's talk about that for a sec. This is strong control against Cinder, especially if Eyedol has meter, because the Shadow Bolt is like 8 frame startup and full screen. So let's take a quick look at that because it's pretty cool. This is what Shadow Meteor or Shadow Bolt looks like. You can see that hitbox is the entire screen. Like literally, there is nowhere you can't be. Oops, and it says 0 plus 9, but it's not 0. Oh, I don't have meter. I think I did the frame step on this. I think it's 1 plus 9 or 1 plus 8. So we're talking like, it's full screen anti-air, and Cinder likes to be in the air. So if you ever see Cinder jump and do Trailblazer or jump and try and bomb, it's just instant Shadow Bolt. And it kills all the bombs on the screen, and it kills everything Cinder tries to do. It costs 1 bar, but it's pretty decent damage. So I think Mage form is the form to be in against Cinder when he's trying to approach. He has meter right now even. And now here's Shadow Meteors. And he hits him with the full screen low while the meteors are crashing down. But if you just watch Eyedol, you can see the purple there of his rod. If you see him swing it in that way, if it's in front of him, you just block low. So you keep yourself blocking low, and if you see this happen, you just don't change anything. But if he sees the purple above his head, you just flinch and go high. And actually, this is kind of reasonably easy to block if you know what to look for. But it can be confusing, and on some stages, like perhaps the Cinder stage with all the red, it may be a little harder to see. And of course, lag plays a factor, so you might not always get it. But if he teleports, he'll hit you unless you're like really good at blocking. But the teleport does like 2% and whatever. I think you'd much rather just prefer to not get hit by this high-low stuff and let him teleport, and if he wants to take the risk, then go ahead. Transfers transferred into Warrior, so he couldn't pick up the combo. Medium, no, misses the sweep. Flash kick, yes, combo. Medium flash kick, recapture, and he tries to guess break again, so he's scared of this counter break here. He doesn't want to get counter broken, and instead of going for the obvious break point, he picks the spot after it and guesses a manual, and this manual can be anything, and even delayed, so it's kind of like maybe 25% chance you're going to get it. And for his troubles, he gets burned out, and now this is tough because this all plus these medium fired up fissions. So Cinder has instinct, and that means he gets all his special moves are fired up. So special properties on all of them. And for fission, what it means is that he's mega plus after fission. Like we're talking, I believe, +3 for the medium version, and I think it's +10 for the heavy version. And medium is a block string off of all these pokes. So he just sticks Eyedol. So he can shadow counter, but this is still super scary. So it's +3, an easy manual, and he has to guess and loses all the burnout. Combo extension. Oh, it's a cool combo. And the throw, this is going to be like, what, 70%? 63%. DP into instinct. Yeah, here comes the meteors. Yeah. Oh wow, he did break medium. He saw the medium recapture in here. So he's swinging that club, right? And Eyedol is one of the few characters, no, not the only, but he's one of the few that has a recapture on something other than heavy. So like for example, Cinder and boy, I can't think of it right now. Gargos. A lot of these different characters, if they're going to recapture, and Amira, for example, if they're going to recapture you, it's always heavy. But Eyedol actually has a medium recapture and a heavy recapture, so you have to be smart and know the matchup and watch for the animation. And Illusion actually saw the animation in between the meteors, so good for him. Interesting trade there. Yeah, oh, he broke for his life. Now, this is important. So here's the medium breaker from the recapture. Now he's swinging, he does DP here, and the meteor comes crashing down. And I think Illusion was flinching because he wants to punish the DP, right? He didn't, maybe he forgot Eyedol was an instinct, or he tried something that didn't come out. What you can do here, and I think this is very important versus Eyedol, if you ever see DP and he has instinct, you just immediately do Shadow Trailblazer, or your Shadow Invincible move. You don't think about doing a normal there, because normals will get clipped. You just immediately do your Shadow Invincible move. And for Cinder, it's good because it will, for example, these regular DPs, it'll just go right through, you won't get caught, even if you do it late. And that was a very important break. Wow, did he? You can't really punish this, I don't think. Man. Oh, this is terrible. Yeah, he's stuck here. This is dead. Bam, bam. Yeah, dead. So, Cinder can only have 3 bombs on screen. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Now, if you do the manual detonate by pressing a 3 punch, it had a startup, right? I don't know how far a long startup is, maybe 15 to 20 frames, so it's kind of long. But if you try to throw another bomb while you have 3 on screen, all the other bombs explode. So he here throws a shadow bomb, which is like 4 frames of startup or something. So he basically explodes the 3 bombs immediately, like much faster than he could if he tried to do it manually. Boom, and then he puts another bomb on, and he does it again, and he's stuck in block stun the whole time. There's nothing he can do, really. And then take a look at the chip in this. Where was he at for chip? Let's see. Alright, so he's about, I don't know, 7 or 8% life. Oh, he punched himself. He punched himself for a little extra damage too, that didn't help. It's pretty good chip, and KI doesn't have a lot of chip actually, but there are a couple characters that are quite good at chipping, and I think both Cinder and Eyedol actually are 2 of them. Yeah, you guys are saying the bitrate is okay. Well, here's the benefit of a group set for base. Every time they restart, they have to go back to character select, which means we get a new stage. Yeah, here we go. Nice bright stage, much better than the Cinder stage. All right, here we go. Game 2. Illusion takes game 1 on a bunch of chip. There's the low. So Cinder, okay, now he waited it out, and now he gets his turn. 0 on block. That's plus on block. The heavy. So if Cinder doesn't have Shadow Meter, you can just do this swing into heavy Crushing Destroyer, I think it's called, heavy club. It's +1 on block, but unfortunately there is a gap between the 2 swings of Crushing Destroyer. So Cinder should be mashing uppercut every time he sees Eyedol come in at him like this. So right there, as soon as you see him swing up, you just start mashing DP, and you can mash. You see, he even got counter hit. So he tried something there. He tried mashing jab or something. Boom, counter hit. So there's a gap there. So you just mash flash kick. What's he got now? He switched. So he tried overhead into the low. So this setup, you block and then you immediately just switch. So there's not a whole lot of block stun on the meteor. You tap back to block the meteor, then you immediately go back to crouch blocking because he doesn't have an overhead there. I think what it caught Illusion. Illusion has said to me in the past that he doesn't know this matchup very well, so a lot of this was exploratory, which is fine and great. But I think definitely this is one thing he learned, is that how little block stun is on the meteors. Illusion says he found that out late in the set, that he got counter hit in between the Crushing Destroyer. Is there a gap in each version? No, only the heavy version. The medium version is 0 on block and the light is -1, so it's less of a concern. But if there is no gap, you just mash DP anyway, and nothing will come out, right? So there's little risk. There's actually 0 risk to mashing DP there, as long as you see him wind up for Crushing Destroyer. Don't do it after the just the 3-hit swing, right? Here's the combo. See, he switches. He's going to do yes. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place here. Tried to do a light manual, didn't work, so he had to get its counter hit. So he switches to mage, and what happens here? He hits him, right? And he does like a quick one chance, or a couple chances. Heavy lightning thing, and now if he didn't switch, he would do teleport and build a pip. But because he switched and he has meter, he just runs up and does cash out. And it's pretty decent damage. What is it? 28? Oh, that's not too bad. That's a block string. So if you guys remember, this used to be really, really easy to do in Season 2. This, you could do jab, jab, jab. There's jab, jab, jab. And then you could immediately do Shadow Fission. And it was forced chip. You couldn't get out of it unless you shadow countered the third jab. Like, it had to be very specific, fast shadow counter. And you couldn't shadow counter any other time. Otherwise, you ate 11% chip, and Cinder was +5. So fantastic. If you get them to block a jab and you have a bar meter, you just do it every time. Now you have to have medium or heavy fission, and the medium has to be fired up. So it's like a little bit more specific. So he does jab, jab, jab into medium fission, then does it. So this is enough block stun for you to do this. And it's enough chip. It's a little less chip than it used to be in Season 2, but still a very good use of meter. And one other thing I wanted to say was if you do jab, 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 instead of doing Shadow Fission, you can do jab, 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 Shadow Inferno, and that is now a block string. So I'm on the. So if you're like this, you can do jab, 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 Shadow Inferno, and that's a block string, and you're still plus. So if you have fired up on your Cinder, do jab, 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 medium fission into Shadow Fission. If you don't have fired up because you just spent it on, like, say, DP, then do Shadow Inferno instead, and you'll build a lot of white life. And it's guaranteed as well. Oh, that was tricky. Cross-up roundhouse on big body Eyedol. Maybe even surprised Illusion a bit. He didn't convert there. That was a good break. When he switches to mage, Crouch Fierce is a pretty common option there, so good break. And there's the Shadow Bolt as soon as Cinder leaves the ground. Builds a pip, and yeah, I think that was another input mistake or something. I'm not entirely sure why Shadow Pyro Bomb was an option there. Burns the arms again. Wow. Both stared at each other for a bit. Now the Shadow Meteors are not overhead, so you can just block low here. You can see he blocks low just fine. And he gets hit by cross-up teleport for 3%. Who cares? So Eyedol's still in big trouble here. Yes. Yes. Oh, he missed a cancel. In case you're wondering about the frame data on this, that this is punishable here, lightning is -12. So Shadow Trailblazer would punish here. Shadow Trailblazer's plenty fast enough to get over there. So Eyedol can never do lightning close. He just simply can't ever do it. So right there, Shadow Trailblazer reversal would work. Wow, what a break. Medium guess on the... Wow, dunked him with the nerfed Jump Fierce. Heavy recapture broken, yes. Nice block. Oh, that was smart. Smart by both players. You can see Illusion. He knows that jump cancel or run cancel to bait shadow counter is a thing. So what he does is he tries to catch the second hit so that he can do it before the jump cancel comes out. If, for example, he tried to do it on the third hit. But Delta was ahead of the game here, and he actually jump canceled the first hit. And I want to say also, this is the only move, the 3-hit. I think it's called Clobber. What a weird move. What a weird name, eh? But he does the 3-hit Fierce. That is the only move that he can jump or run cancel before the recovery frames. So that he can't do it on, say, Shadow anything, or like the 2-hit Crushing Destroyer Club Swing thing. He can't run cancel that before the final hit. So that means you can always shadow counter those moves for free. So the only one that's a risk is this 3-hit one. One chance again, recapture with medium, and I think Illusion didn't know which one was coming there. +4 is DP'd out of. Wow. DP here for sure. Yep, that's enough. It's gonna let the meteors do some damage, and oh, no break. Oh. Okay. Little style combo from Delta. Using the rest of those pips while he still had them. You don't get to keep them between rounds. I'm surprised Illusion didn't try to guess break there. Maybe he had already just given up on that round in his head. Even if he successfully breaks, he basically doesn't win that round almost ever, so I'll just give up. So this you can see here, this is a 1 hour 14-minute long set, but a lot of this is gaps between while they're waiting for loading times. So this set is actually quite a bit shorter than this, so don't be too worried about the loading time or the length of this video. All right, moving forward. Starts in mage again. Didn't block the overhead. One chance, heavy. See, he switches. Okay, gets to pick up the combo. No meter to cash out. Tricky delay on that target combo. Wow, he just shoulders right through. He doesn't care. Shoulder is a lot like other shoulder moves in the game. It's always minus. The safest he can be is -2. The light version is -2. The others are -5 and -10, I believe. So we're talking like if you do anything except point blank shoulder, you're going to get punished by a jab at the very least, and punished for more. So you basically can never use the heavy version. The exception to that, however, is heavy. If you do the heavy version and then run cancel it, you are mega plus. So I think that's why warrior pips are so good. People are like, how does warrior get in? Because he's actually quite susceptible to zoning. One way he can get in is random heavy shoulder in neutral and run cancel it. And I believe I did the frame data check on this a couple months ago, but he's like something like +6 or 7. Like we're talking like you can't challenge it without a DP. And this also works for overhead, which is just about as far range as heavy shoulder, and also hits overhead. So basically, if warrior is like 3/4 screen away and has a pip, he is like in primo position to come get you, and come get you with plus frames. We're not talking just a little bit. This is why I think teleports are so valuable. So basically, if you land a hit with mage, you should always make sure you have at least 1 pip, in my opinion, because the value of getting in it from anywhere on screen with warrior is so strong that you should not do the flashy combo the first time and just take your pip, right? That's what I think anyway. May not be as valuable in this matchup because Cinder is Cinder zones a bit, you know, but Cinder, I think Illusion's style is to try and get in your face a bit more, and mage form for Eyedol is a good counter zoner to Cinder. So Cinder might not be trying to zone as much as in other matchups. But I think, in general, prioritizing teleport pips really important. So there's that delay again. Burns out the arms. And just heavy shoulders in. Oh, good block. Not a good punish, though. Overhead blocked. Overhead -4 now. So not actually punishable, unless you're Ram or something. But you do get to take your turn. Medium DP again into sweep. That's the second time Delta's gone for that combo. I like the challenge. Trailblazer is just slow enough to counter hit buttons or catch walk forward. And this is a good choice of shadow move here. Does a lot of extra potential damage. Wow, caught him on the way in again. That's the second time. The exact same situation, but he was ready this time. Oh man, okay, so you got away with it. And one thing I want to talk about, because I basically always talk about this when I analyze sets, because it doesn't matter how good a player you are or how good a player your opponent is. KI is such a scrambly, fast-paced game that people will drop counter breaker punishes. It just happens. Or, you know, a lot of people do that reflex throw thing where, you know, you take 8% or 9% and you're out of there. But Cinder is gambling Eyedol's life bar here by doing the counter breaker, and it was a smart counter breaker because the situation hasn't come up before in this set, and I think assuming that Eyedol will want to set the pace by breaking the first time is a good idea. And this is actually how a lot of things work out, is that people will try and set the pace by breaking the first time. But on the occasion that your opponent doesn't punish because he's like, you know, his mental stack is overloaded and he can't actually think about all these things at once, you basically just took, you know, a 50% shot at your opponent's life bar for 0 risk, or very close to 0 risk. So as players get better, we will punish with fierce into something. But I think it's reasonably hard enough that it won't happen even remotely close to 100% of the time. So that ups the value of counter breakers considerably, actually. Wow, little delay, and yeah, he had to guess with all that potential burnout damage on him. Or start of the round instinct is pretty common if you have it. Is he going to be able to kill here? No, he's got pretty high KV. Another shadow. That's 2 shadows. Ah, he missed the break again, but he did kill him, which is pretty good. 39%. Cost him his entire instinct and 2 bars, though. But now he's in mage form, and Cinder is... Nice block. You can see the bit of the rollback there. At least I can on my screen. I don't know about the bitrate. It's a bit of a lag problem. Oh, nice punish. Yes. Throw reset. Bomb. Missed the combo. Alright, back to neutral. There was a chance for DP. That's a tricky combo because you have to break that heavy. And most people will not try and break heavy Trailblazer because most of Cinder's juggles involve, medium and light Trailblazers just because of the way the angles work. So that was a smart choice. Meaty fission, so that's a smart setup. So throw bomb, heavy fission. Immediate heavy fission is always like super meaty because heavy fission has, 178 frames of active frames. But if you're smart and you're really looking for it, you can react to this with DP. I don't think this was a reaction. I think this was a choice he had already made, but it happened. And here's the setup again. He's not going to get out. In the corner, that doesn't work. This is one of the things where Eyedol is actually stronger if his back's to the corner, because Shadow Meteors, usually you can push him out of the way. Some moves can anyway. I think even Cinder can in most situations. But in the corner, no dice. You just you push him right into the corner and he doesn't go anywhere. So the meteors still hit you on the noggin. It's the right idea, but the wrong time. Heavy meteor, and he gets the teleport this time. No switch. Nice block. He's in there. He got through the mage zoning. Man, he dropped the combo, unfortunately, and the so yeah, this is one of those times, and I hope that this is one of the things Illusion starts to notice as he plays this matchup more later on in the set. We hope we'll check back in and see if he's learned. But I think it's very common for Eyedol to do this and then DP, right? Because he thinks, well, first of all, if you tried to throw or press a button, you're donezo. Secondly, I'm not entirely sure, you might miss the punish because we were just thinking about counter breakers, right? You have, if your opponent doesn't punish you, the risk is actually not what you think it is. So Illusion says he tried to double shadow there. I guess he mistimed it. Yeah, maybe so. I think in the corner, it's actually some weirdness happens there, and you should probably just not try, I think, to challenge in the corner. But anyway, I was saying, so if you see this, if you are playing against Eyedol, you should be like thinking in your head, 80% possibility here of DP. So you should be extra sensitive to this reaction where he swings like that, and then you should immediately do Shadow Trailblazer here. You cannot do normal into Shadow Trailblazer. The meteor comes down too fast. You can throw if you're close. Throw is actually not a bad punish, but you obviously you would prefer Shadow here because you could see he would push him into danger and win the round. This reaction is very difficult if you are not anticipating it, is sort of what I'm trying to say here. But because after instinct activation, this is quite common, I think you should be like hypersensitive to this particular reaction after instinct pop in particular, okay? So he tries to punish to get a hit. He again tried to punish. Now he's in the blunder here. And I think he's just dead no matter what he tries. Wow, did he? Oh no! Did he? I think Shadow Trailblazer is throw invincible. Did he get through a throw? And I wanna say that's just an input error, right? That is the input for Ultra. And he was in danger, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. It's a bit of a bummer. I do kind of like the counter breaker though, I will say. First of all, you don't expect that to ever work, right? Or you don't expect this to ever happen to you, where you where you don't get ultra, and you're like, frick, right? What do I do? And so I think both players are panicking because I think Delta thought he was dead. So I think a panic break and a panic counter break are both good ideas. Didn't work out for him there, but I think not a bad idea. So I just want to check, because I don't think there's anything funny about this, right? Yeah. I don't think there's anything funny about that. I think just maybe an input mistake. Amenti says, could he have been thrown in that situation? Yes, he can. The meteors come down, but they haven't hit yet. So what he actually does is he does a meaty throw, is what he tried to do there. If he does meaty throw and a projectile hit on the same frame, the throw takes priority. So he will be thrown. But you have to be perfectly meaty. If you're like 1 frame late, the meteor hits and then he's unblocks done. So he did reversal, Shadow, Trailblazer, Witch's Throw Invincible, and Projectile Invincible, and got through both of them. Which is, I think, a mistake, because I think maybe he didn't realize the health situation, but if you just press medium punch as like a block string button into chip button, he just dies. He can't do anything about that. If he DPs out, he gets hit by the meteors. So yeah, it's dirty. I don't think it's that dirty though. It's dirty in situations where you're gonna die. I mean, okay, so you're dead. There's nothing you can do, I think. I was talking to people, not just KI people, but I was talking to others about, like, say, checkmate situations. I had a conversation with some KI players about this, but also with some local friends. Are checkmate situations good in fighting games where the opponent is just dead? There's nothing you can do. I personally think it's cool. I like it because, well, first of all, every fighting game has them. You can't find a fighting game that doesn't have checkmate situations. So you kind of have to get used to it. But secondly, I think what it does is it reminds you that your life is precious, right? Your mistakes matter in fighting games. So like, we could watch that match again and find like each player would make, I don't know, 15 mistakes, right? Because KI is a hard game and you make mistakes. There's nothing wrong with that. But you think to yourself, how could I have prevented myself from getting in that situation where I was going to die? Instead of thinking the situation is bullshit because I have 1% life left and he has instinct in 2 bars, then I'm going to die. So it's kind of like, you know, you pick your poison on where you try and improve. And I like that you can think back to like 5 seconds earlier and be like, oh, there was a way out of that and I just messed up. So try not to think of like the end goal where you just die because the guy has all the resources and you have no life, but instead think about how you got in that position. 1 chance, projectile, meteor, teleport, yes. 17%, pretty good for 1 chance on a pip. Wow, run cancel combo. He spends the pip on like no extra damage, but it's pretty stylish. Wow, challenge with jab. Cinder is trying to fight out of here. He finally broke the, that's the 3rd time Delta went for this combo. He was going to land and do medium recapture, medium DP into sweep, right? He was going to jump, then medium for the float, but he was ready for it this time. Yes. And I like the instant cancel there. This was to bait a shadow counter in case it was blocked, right? He doesn't want to give the second hit, but he sees it hits, so now he gets a big combo. Yes. Baits the lockout, recapture. What has he got? Burn arms? Yes. Punish, yes. Good punish. With the extra manual, and he's not dead. Ooh, he doubles up on the arm burnout. Wow, nice throw tech. This is all, oh, that was the plus version, but he jumped out. So out of negative frames, he just holds up. He's like, all right, let's see you try and anti-arm me as I jump out of this corner. Guaranteed command grab. Wow, I don't like the choice there. This meter is, I think, better spent elsewhere. Block, yes. Punish, big punish. 1 chance for life. Oh, he got it. Medium. Why would he guess medium there? I bet you Illusion's like, yeah, I don't know why he guessed medium there either. What the heck? But really good punish. Yeah, and I like the DP. That's a guaranteed punish there. Again, medium. So yeah, Illusion showing a little bit of matchup inexperience here. I tried to Inferno through, but yeah, here comes the meteors. There's the grab. He gets comboed into the meteors and the throw. So that's 13%. 13% for one bar and a setup that's really hard to avoid. But again, I think if Eyedol just DPs here, if Cinder just DPs, like every time, like just like literally DP every single time, and Eyedol will eventually start blocking. But even if you start getting hit by the meteors on a juggle, it's 2% and you're out. Like he has to do like an obvious recapture point for 10% at most, and I think you dodge all this stuff. Very few other characters can't do this because they get hit grounded on their DPs, right? But Cinder is invincible till he's airborne, and that's like super good for him. That throw is techable because you're in stagger from the meteors, except if he does back throw, because back throw is untechable. Oops. But in the next patch that'll be fixed. So, but still, this forward throw is techable. Nice. I love the tick into command grab. As you start representing command grab more, people just have to panic against warrior because you don't want to get put in this blender. This +4 blender is super strong, I think. There's the DP. No punish. Oh no. Wow, really? I think if he's ready for this, like if he's priming himself on the head for this DP, he should be ready. Stand light kick is an easy punish here, and I think if you're in warrior form, stand medium punch is 6, and this move is -6, so you're good to go. But he gambled on the you're gonna freak out, and he did freak out, and I'm not entirely sure why Cinder's won, but it did. One of them had to win, I guess. Nice block again. Yeah, he's stuck. Yeah. Light. Yeah. Okay. Builds a meter. I like that. I think the general rule of thumb is if you're level 2 or lower, level 3 or lower, you should always build the meter. Certainly level 2 you should never burn out in between rounds because the timer will expire before the round starts, the next round. There's just no point. Level 3 is like, yeah, you might get like 1 second of burnout on the next round, but I think level 3 meter is better. Level 4 you can do either meter or burnout, but I think certainly I would almost always do meter in those low KV situations. Cinder's has longer startup, the DP. Yeah, but it's not so much about startup, it's about when the hitboxes collide. Because in KI your red hitbox is also a hittable box by attacks of the same priority. So basically both of these guys are putting gigantic shadow hitboxes in front of them, and one of them has to hit. So I guess what actually happened there was like Eyedol's DP is probably like way forward, and Cinder's was like also way forward, and Eyedol became invincible or not invincible first or something. I don't know. It's one of these things I would have to look at in the frame step. It's a KI kind of only. It's a specific to KI type of interaction, but it's some of them are kind of wonky, so you have to check out. But I don't think it matters too much. Meteors again, 13. Low, and he switches, so he can't do it. So he wants to switch back immediately. But he didn't have meter for this switch. This screen freeze here is really nice for Eyedol when he gets to freeze the screen when he switches. But he has no shadow meter here, so he can't do shadow bolt. So instead he just tries to... Wow, that was a really good block. Alright. Both players panicked a little bit, just reset the neutral. Block and punish. Oh no, he was already in the air. Another switch. Go get him, go get him! Yes! Made him block, that's fine. All that white life is there. You can see he's like unsure of how to block. Wow, that was good. And there is that heavy fear. Like, watch how far away he is, man. Man, that's in there and he's plus. That was reversal throw. Watch when he throws. Watch this. He's already, look at this. He's plus that much. Like, we're talking like seriously plus here. So you definitely want to be using this if you're Eyedol. Like this heavy shoulder into pip, jump, or run cancel is like, it's the good stuff. This is going on YouTube, yes. I'll post this on YouTube later. The wonder of the YouTube is that I get to skip ahead the loading time, so that's cool. Sorry. Don't know when it's going to end, so I don't want to go into the match too early. Wow, early teleport. Not the best choice. Oh no, okay. But anyway, good punish. Wow, that was a sick little combo. And he's in the corner already. This is bad, and his punches are burned out. Yeah, plus. Yeah, get him. No, not quite. Quite a little delayed here. He got the double DP. The double 35 frame DP just worked out for him. In general, though, that's, you know, Illusion will pick up on that pretty quick. Alright, he's in there. He was mashing DP for his life there, for sure. Wow! Oh, wow, DP'd him. I like it. Now, if I was Cinder, I would have well, would you have just did one? Okay, he got past that. Why not just Shadow Flash Kick there, right? Yeah, see? Now he's in this sort of scramble. He baited DP. I like the pressure. That's plus, yes. Set up Meaty Bomb and instant cancel, and he gets out, and he never got the life. And there's the same situation, right? You have to kind of be ready for that specific thing after instant cancel. And here's the meteor setup that he likes. Oh, did he backdash in there? He tried to backdash the command grab. Or maybe the command grab just didn't hit meaty enough. Something like that. It's hard to tell. Punish, yes, got him. Wow, heavy break on the target combo. Get him? Okay, throw's okay. I don't know. Throw's alright. And there's that heavy crusher, or heavy shoulder into jump again. Again, I think it's super good. You can tell he very clearly wants to be in mage form against Cinder. Cinder is going to struggle to close this gap. Too far away to get through the meteors. Lands on it, yes. One chance for life. Oh no, not even, because the shadow hit 3 times. Wow, man, he's getting good mileage out of that throw, or out of that teleport. It only works really as a bait against throws. It won't beat meaties. Throw. Meaty Bomb. Fakes the fission for DP, that's fine. Tries to burn out the arms for extra damage. Double burnout. I would do it immediately again. Yes, on the feet. Both of them working hard here. Plus. Wow, that was smart. Smart to bait DP, but I think good defense from Delta, man. He did not crack. People say Delta is a bit of a wild player, and I would actually agree. Delta, I think, if you're watching this later, I think you're pretty wild. This is good patience, though. I think I like the patience. Use the instinct to see. Well, okay, well, as I was saying that, he guessed that he had pressed a button during the long freeze, which actually can happen quite easily, especially if you're like, if you were planning to meaty, like say 10 frames after the instant cancel, your meaty's just going to come out after the freeze. So Delta's like, well, all right, I'm going to do it. This is, if you're keeping score at home, which you should be, because that's what we do around here. That's like the 4th time Delta has done instinct activation into light DP, right? So keep that in mind. And it becomes a lot harder to punish when you're not in a reversal situation. Good block, yes, I like it. You can't, yeah, you have to deal with that. And he's gonna die. And that's like the sixth time he's missed the guess, or guessed heavy there instead of medium, just because he thinks it's a heavy. I think, so the score is like 4-1 Delta, right? But I think this probably would be closer to, I think Delta, or Illusion would have gotten at least one more game if he had broken correctly one of those recaptures. Because all of them were in like really tight scramble situations where he could have easily turned it back. Sorry guys, I should be reading the chat more often. I made this promise like last time I did a set analysis that I would read chat more often the next time, but I haven't been. Let me just check out what's going on here. It doesn't beat Meaty's guess, I was just mistiming it, said Illusion. I was probably like 10 minutes ago, so I apologize for not knowing what you're talking about there. Seems like he gets the pips back pretty easily in mage form. Yeah, I think if you want to prioritize pips as Eyedol, which I think is actually should be the game plan, like I think I would rather take 12% damage and a pip than 18% damage and the chance to not get a pip. You know what I mean? I think that 6% or 5 to 6% ratio is like, I value the pip more. Because what it means is that when I'm warrior, you basically just have to deal with like some stupid mix-up. And it's like the expected swing is a lot higher than 6% in my opinion. Wow, Amenti, you're cruising for a bruising with that comment, let me tell you. Alright, back to chat. Nice. So he uses... Did he use the heavy version here? No, that was light. But he did win the challenge. Already with 2 mage pips, that's the heavy version, and that's plus, you cannot mess with this. Plus, and yeah, you can't mess with that, that's +1. Command grab? Yes. I love the free command grab, I would always take it. I don't even care about the throw damage, I would just take this free pip every time. TP challenge wins. Wow, and I like that. I like this from Delta, or from Illusion, because this is where Delta always breaks. For some reason, despite Illusion never counter-breaking yet so far in this set, he does not want to break the recapture. Instead, he tries to risk the 25% break chance, like 33% for strength and then a little extra because you might mistime things here. So what Illusion does is he resets with throw and switches sides into the corner, and now he's like primo position to like take 50% of Eyedol's health with a couple mix-ups, right? So not only does he dodge the break chance, but he switches sides and like wins the whole thing. It's so good. Now he gets meaty. Oh, that was meaty. Man, that's the meatiest attack I've ever seen in my life. Watch this. Oh, what did he press, I wonder? It said punishment. What? Okay. These guys are like thinking about what they're gonna have for breakfast, you know, what's on tap for lunch, is it break time yet? And then suddenly, shoulder. Takes his turn back, gets plus. Yes, this is true block string. Look at that life. Free punish. 1 chance for your life. Didn't get it this time. He went heavy. Last time he went medium. So I want to talk about this quickly here. Notice that, so Illusion finishes the combo after 1 chance, right? And I think he knows it's probably not going to be enough to kill. Like if you look at the life, it's like, yeah, it's probably not enough because Cinder is kind of low damage. This is where I think you extend the combo. In your head, you're like, okay, obviously he is either going to, he's going to guess break the first hit because he has to, and the very little chance that he won't. But I lose nothing by extending my combo, right? Either I was broken, in which case nothing I did would have changed that, or he locks out and then I get a free extension. So there's actually very little risk in extending the combo here, I think. And if you're unsure in the situation, like why, like you're not sure if it's going to kill and you're like, well, I could probably use a couple extra hits in my combo and I have the low KV to do it. I think this is the type of situation where you should make them guess break, but don't do a 1 chance, if that makes sense. And I think this type of thing is really hard to tell in the middle of a match. So I'm not trying to say, like, you know, like I said earlier in the video, I'm not trying to say he's being a bad player for this. But I think like if you try to watch your sets back after you play them, this is the type of thing you might think about, analyzing about your own play and think to yourself, if I can remember this in the future, maybe I should extend my combo in situations like this, if that makes sense. Because now he has to win a mix-up, and he lets Eyedol get instinct going. Nice punish, yes. Illusion, you're the best. Alright. This is exactly what I was talking about. This is the 5th or 6th time he does DP right here, and he was ready for it this time. And he gets the meter back, because he's going to build... Oh, he went for burnout, okay. So, that's how much burnout life he gets for a level 3. It's okay. Whether it's worth 1 bar of Shadow Meter, I'm not sure, but in the level 3, level 4 range, it's kind of like your choice probably, whether you want to do Burnout or Meter Ender in between rounds. I think in level 2 or lower, you always want to do Meter Ender. Another medium DP. Okay, punish with throws. Okay, we'll go with it. Oh wow, did he just press punch to burn the flames for no reason? Oh no. Man, he's going to lose a lot of life next time he gets clipped, and it's going to be now. One chance, and he sets him back up to burn. Oh no. Okay, that's fine. Just block low, yeah. Wow, he blocked it all! He blocked the high, the low, and the cross-up. He couldn't quite punish, but that was sick. Oh, we got him! Yes, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Let's talk about why this is so sick. First of all, good block, good block, good block. And to have the, like, the awareness to try and punish here is really good, I think. He was out of range of the punish, but still, like, I mean, he could have punished with Trailblazer or something, but he clipped him, and I think this conversion here is super nice. This is like primo game awareness. I love it. One chance, and for sure, Eyedol cannot, like, he's not ready to break here. Like, he's waiting for like the second Trailblazer to, or maybe like a recapture, because he's like, well, you know, he's too far away to convert. He has to do some longer combo, and then I can think about my life a little bit, you know, plan my next trip to Hawaii. But he immediately instant cancels the one chance he had to break, and then immediately cashes out with Shadow and leaves him just dead. So when you're talking about like fighting games, the most fun thing to me about fighting games is situational awareness. What I love is watching a player who's really in tune with their character come up with like really clever genius situations or solutions to problems that are presented to him in like 1 second. And it only happens because this player is, you know, well educated on the game and has played a lot, and the game engine lets them do a lot of creative things. And when you don't have a lot of time to think about it, you just can kind of do it, right? In your head, it just like makes sense, the perfect time, or it just makes a lot of sense in the moment, right? And I love watching that in sets. And I think KI is one of the games that really promotes that type of play because it's so freeform and not rigid. If that makes sense. This type of situation doesn't come up in a lot of games where you have to like freeform or freestyle a combo, you know, using this particular type of arrangement. And I don't know, I personally think it's super cool. And it's one of the reasons why I think KI is such a good game. People are like, you know, you go to Street Fighter V and you block a DP and you have like, you know, the DP is like minus 100, and it's like, you know, if you like think about like Akuma's EX DP, it takes like 6 repetitions to like finish. So you have like all the time in the world to like, okay, I'm gonna walk up, I'm gonna hit Roundhouse, and then I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna hit Fierce and V-Trigger cancel that, and then I'm gonna do my combo. In KI, it's like, man, you blocked a DP, you better be ready to punish. It's like minus 20, but you got like, you know, you got like half a second to realize it, and then you got like half a second to realize where he is on the screen and what your resources are, and like whether he's gonna break or not, and all these things come together in like a big ball of decision making, and it happens like immediately. And I think that's super cool about KI. And I love there are other games that do this too, like say Marvel. One of the most fun things to me about Marvel is watching players do random straight hit confirms, because they have like such great spacing awareness of their character, and like they can immediately think, wow, this other character is like, you know, is a lighter body, is a smaller body, but he's like an extra pixel away, so I better like extend my jump Fierce timing, or better do my fly cancel slightly later, you know, and it just like so instinctive to them. I really hope Marvel Infinite sort of promotes that style of freeform gameplay. So we'll see about that. But I think when people are like, yeah, KI is a bit more of it's a bit buggier of a game. It's got like way more wacky situations where people can get scrambly and get lucky and bounce their way out of there. You know, it's like, you know, people say it's not skillful because all this scrambling and all this randomness is happening. I actually disagree entirely, because I think players who can control that level of randomness and control the scrambles, that's like super skillful. And I love it when it happens, and it happens in KI very often. All the best players are really good at controlling scrambles, and I really like seeing that type of that play when it's in control like that. It's so much fun to watch. I greatly prefer it to like static, more prescribed games. All right, you can see Illusion trying to get through the zoning a little differently. And as soon as he switches to warrior, he's like in there because he knows he's coming in. He's like, well, I'm full screen away, I'm going to come in. Alright, guesses light. Previously he had guessed heavy in those situations. Alright, bomb explosion, OTG. Hard combo to break. Does not do double trailblazer. Wow, stylish combo. Finally breaks recapture. That was really cool to watch though. And again. Ah, he broke heavy again. Break? No. Burnout on the fierce I like. Wow, no punish there, unfortunately. Okay, is he going to DP again? Yeah, well, he caught him this time. That DP is 5 frames, by the way, not a 3-framer. The only 3-framers in the game are Jago, Orchid, Fulgore, and Shadow Jago, and Aria's Blade Body. There's only 5 characters in the game with a 3-frame DP. Eyedol's is 5, Tusk's is 4, and Kilgore's is a lot worse. I think it's 6 or 7. What it means, what I'm saying is you can safe jump that DP if you have the setup. Medium. Oh, sweep this time. Oh, caught backdash. I like it. And this is the optimal punish. In fact, if you block a DP with Eyedol, or you bait a counterbreaker or something where you get like the punish of your choice, swinging fierce into recapture DP is the optimal punish for him without meter. And not only is it optimal, but you get a free manual of your choice, like a very obvious. You can get like any manual you want with any variety of timing. So it's the highest damage and the best for baiting breakers. Okay, command grab, yes. I always like that he takes that. I think it's the best choice. Wow, they waited, and again he caught him with the shadow freeze. I'm sure Cinder was. Well, you can see him stand up there, but I'm sure he was like. Even if he hadn't stood up there, I think this would have worked anyway. People will just press buttons eventually during the freeze, and you're gonna get them. That was heavy. That was heavy. No. Oh, that was light. Oh. Ah, okay. Well, it shows what I know. You got $20 from PAGJ Chaos. Thank you for the $20. I appreciate it. That is, of course, not my $20. Low, low. Tries to reset again. I might have probably just taken that pip, but... Wow, this is another input mistake. I'm not entirely sure why. He got away with it, though. Again, what could Eyedol have done here, I wonder? With no meter, he can't run up and do Shadow Shoulder. He tried to run up and do Fierce, which is probably the best thing he could have tried. Last time this happened, he tried jumping, right, and he landed on top of it, so you can't do that. Yeah, I don't know. It comes up so rarely that it's not something you need to have a planned reaction for. Good combo. Recapture, Fierce, Meter. I like Meter because it was only a level 2. Good. Yes, I love the DP. This is good adaptation from Illusion. He knows the jump or the run cancel is coming because, of course, he's not going to use this move when Cinder has meter, and he has a pip when something isn't coming. So he just waits for it and then just uppercuts because, yeah. Nice throw. Meaty bomb. Meaty fission. No. Probably missed input there. And I love the shadow counter. I think whenever you see this happen in fighting games, you're like, it was clear the guy tried something, and then it didn't come out, and then he freaks out. He's like, what am I going to do, right? And then he just like doesn't press his wake-up advantage because he's like, the setup, he doesn't know the timing, and he doesn't want to get hit, so he's like, okay, I'll just give up on this one. And he backs away. But I love the shadow counter here. Now that drop combo was because the shadow counter hit. He's so far away, right? You can see how far away he is. The very max range of the club. So this shadow counter like doesn't hit the first couple frames. It catches them, but only 3 hits. So this timing is all messed up. Wow, I got him again, and that one is the full. Yes. Burns out arms again. Delta with some good patience. Wow, he stood up. Wow, he broke out of it. Now this is not okay. So I remember this happening, and I had something. I checked this out because first of all, this was not the fired up version. This was just the regular version. And I looked at why this happens, because I was like, huh, that's really weird, right? Why does he just snap out of here? Right? Like, is there some dumb hitbox problem? Like, what's the issue, right? I'm sure Illusion probably remembers that moment too. So what I can say is, I had a video, I think I kept it. Do I have it here? Yeah, I think I still have it. So I don't know if you guys can see this. This is how I do frame stepping. Let me just get this video here. So I found this timing, I found the spacing where it would whiff. I basically duplicated the setup. And it's right here. Now take a look at where Cinder's foot is. His left foot, this back foot here. You can see it's like halfway, a little bit past halfway on this square, right? Now take a look what happens when he does this move. Here is the hitbox for Fission, and you can see it barely connects with Eyedol's hitbox. There's the hit. Now it extends here. Fission does this weird thing where it extends 3 times like that. And you can see Cinder is slowly moving out of range. This is pushing him back ever so slightly. So it's like this is barely hitting the box, and then it's doesn't hit the box anymore because he's out of range by a pixel. So it's not that Eyedol's hitbox is wonky, it's that Fission just pushes him out of range by a couple pixels every repetition, and eventually he'll be just completely out of range here. See? And now Cinder's foot, when he finishes, is further back than it was when it started. So that's how you can tell he was pushed out of range. Now this doesn't often happen because usually you're burned up or you're fired up, right? And the thing is just freaking full screen and there's just nothing to worry about. But he just found this tippy tip of the point blank or the max range where it's like 1 pixel one way or the other. So getting pushed out of range just happened to him there. So, you know, no bug, no wacky behavior, just an unfortunate hitbox interaction that the move pushes him out of range. But yeah, good to know how that works, right? Now you know. Let's watch it again. I love the punish here though. He walked backwards. Yeah, and this is just that range where he just, and it's so unlucky because I tried to get that to happen in training mode. I tried to get that to happen in training mode to like duplicate the situation, and it took me like 10 tries. Like, I either missed entirely with the Inferno because it was just out of range from the start, or I hit with it the whole time because we're talking like 5 pixels of difference when he gets pushed out of range. So you have to hit with him. You basically have to be within 5 pixels of max range. So we're not talking about something that you can just, you know, it's not like it'll happen very often to you. And it's pretty unfortunate that it just happened to Amir, you know, because I couldn't duplicate it on purpose. But it happened, and he didn't panic. All right, wow, ran into the DP, and he's gonna cash out. And he has no meter. Wow, okay. Yeah, I had no meter, so he had to go for the recapture. And I like that Illusion, or sorry, that Delta was patient and just waited for recapture. Some good blocks here. DP, oh man, I felt like he was really ready for that. Didn't happen. Back to Mage. Man, could he have shadowed through this one? I wonder. He landed. It was gonna be tight, I think. Maybe better he just saved the meter. And now he's in. Don't. Oh no, he tried to convert back to Mage one too many times. 1, 2, 3, and he got bombed. Is he gonna die? Yes, he's going to die. I love the play from Illusion there. He's down in the set. He's probably a little irritated that certain things haven't gone his way. But rather than like just throw his face at Eyedol with a bunch of Trailblazers, he blocked it out. He threw a bomb, waited for a Delta to make a mistake, and then had a nice super conversion. So right on. How many reteats do I need for you to play ranked? Probably quite a few. I think ranked is something that is not in my wheelhouse anymore these days. I think I'd rather let the better players play and me talk about them. I think that's where my strength is. Alright. Moving on. This is now 3-4. Wow, got him. Yes. Nice punish. He's going to burn out the arms for sure, right? Yeah. I like the choice. He gets to maintain corner position here. So obviously you don't want to do damage under here because it's like, why? For level 2, it's not really worth it. And meter build sends Cinder far away. So you don't really want to do that either. So I think burnout in this position is like 100% the right choice. You get to keep your positioning and maximize later openings. Nice block, but again he got clipped with the low there. I think that's just a muscle memory thing that you'll, if you wanted to practice versus Eyedol, you could just practice like switching to high block from meteor and immediately switching back. You don't have to like hold back for too much longer there. But again, that's just something that if you've never seen it, third time you got hit by it again. Teleport. No, see, he switches. Now he gets the damage, so it's like, you know, he did the H lightning, the meteor, and then he was going to teleport if he didn't switch, but he did switch, so he does shadow for the cash out, and it's like, sure, you got some good damage, but you lost that pip, so now you have one fewer run cancel in your arsenal. And was it worth the 10%, 8%, maybe? Maybe it is. I don't know. I think I prefer the pip though. TP. Wow, yeah, I was thinking this might whiff, you know. I'm sure Illusion was thinking, is this going to hit? I think if you wait just a bit, because he DP'd to the left, right? Or he faced... Yeah, well, he even did wait, huh? And it still did that, huh? Interesting. Yeah, he's stuck. Yeah, he's stuck. He can't do it. It's big time stuck. They dropped the manual, but this is stuck city right here. This is like... I mean, we're talking plus 3, right? Drop the combo, but plus 3, and he's a no body with a reversal. So what are you gonna do? Big level. I think Cinder. I think he can take the whole life bar here if he decides to attack. Jeez. Bet you both these guys checked Cinder at the same time, right? They're like, swipe left, swipe right. Oh wait, I'm playing a match. Overhead. All right, we're back in there. Recapture, not broken, but again, Delta breaks. This is like the 5th time, and I think, I mean, it's like the hardest part of the combo to break. But he's been wrong a couple times and right a couple times. But I think if you're Illusion, you might want to think to yourself that this is a pattern that you could exploit later. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. Yeah, the same corner problem as before. DP, recapture, medium, no, Illusion. Okay, he got out of there. He's gonna lose the round immediately, but okay. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Oh, what? Wow, talk about no chip. Oh, wow, nothing. Good punish. Fierce, not broken. And I think that's, I don't know, if I was Illusion, I would have probably counter broke that. Because as Delta, you're thinking revenge breaker for the no chip, right? You're like, you're pissed off in your head, so you're like, man, I gotta break. And then he didn't break, but he also didn't counter break, so he just took the burnout. But I think he's gonna die here. Yeah. There's probably, if you like jump, I guess you can punish. But like, yeah, I don't know. If you're Illusion here, what do you do to avoid getting chipped? I guess you gotta jump. I don't know. Tough spot. But look at that white. Okay. Light DP I would have broken for sure. He's light DPing here every time. Light. Medium. Ah, and there we go. Yes. Illusion's learning. And the perfect punish. Illusion is picking up. Light into... And again, okay, and this shows the other thing that works. DP works here in this situation too. You don't even have to be point blank. So whether Cinder has meter or not, you still get out. Good to know. Oh, that was untechable because of the back throw. Ah, and he's, man, he ended so early. Still gets a pip here though. Not bad. Oh, he tried something clever there. I bet you he tried to cancel stand light kick into flash kick, but it didn't work. Wow, he flinched, yeah. I like, this is the reverse of what was happening earlier, where Delta would wait and then do shadow DP and catch Illusion, pressing a button somewhere in the neutral, you know? This is the same thing here. Like, it looks like a weird idea because he's going to do something that isn't that. But he pressed the button during the freeze, and you know, Dunkarino. Wow. Get him! Instant cancel why, I wonder? Just make it a little extra harder to break. Yeah, he didn't bite. Really good patience. I like this a lot. I also like that he was ready to punish with a fierce, so good on you. Alright. Bassfree says two things Cinder is very bad at: punishing bad breaks and tracking backdash. Punishing bad breaks? Oh, you mean like lockout combos aren't super good? Yeah, I guess. Cinder can get good corner positioning though, because he can do like, you know, heavy Trailblazer and stuff. But yeah, he doesn't get as much damage as other characters, you're right. Alright, I'm gonna probably sorry, hang on a sec, guys. Sorry about that. Alright, we're into this match. Now, you can tell Eyedol, he wants, yeah, then that's really hard to deal with. He wanted to switch to Mage so bad, but he's locked down by these bombs, and then that's like a max range Trailblazer. So this is like not nearly as unsafe as the others. I think it's like in the -2, -3 range, so it's like tough times, and it recovers really quick, so you gotta be ready. Nice tech. Wow, that must have been for sure an input mistake. Yeah, I don't know. Input mistake happens. Overhead, take his turn back? No, not quite. Good punish though on the shadow counter whiff. Burns the arms out. So now Mage just has to take it. Wow. Not quite what was needed there. Punish, yes. Oh, not quite. I think you got to punish those backwards reversals with stand medium kick into Trailblazer, or stand medium kick into Shadow Trailblazer. No Shadow here, but I think something that gets you closer, you know. And yeah, he has to instant cancel. So this move, this Shadow DP, Shadow Bolt is, like I say, I think it's 1+8, so it's about 9 or 8 frames of startup. Invincible for the first, not invincible for the first frame, which means you can be, if you meaty him perfectly, it will stuff it. But after the first frame, completely invincible, Eyedol. So it's basically a reversal. Like, it's not quite the reversal, but it's like basically a reversal. But it's unsafe like a reversal. It's like -50, 40, something big. You can walk up and punish with like whatever you want. So he has to instant cancel. Just catches him flinching, and now the pain. Blocks it out, yeah, and he's good to go. Shadow, yeah, he's through. Tried to frame trap and caught him. And again, I like the challenge. Delta is going to be ready. Delta is going to be ready and willing to attack during his instinct. So challenging with deep here is really smart. And that's a really strong conversion from far away. Those Cinder juggles are... they're not like super difficult, but they're very droppable. Timing, nice punish. Or nice... great punish. Wow, he broke medium vision manual. Can you believe this guy? What a break. Illusion probably can't believe it. Illusion says, Cinder has to counter break at times though because the opponents break so much. I'm scared to do it, but it is definitely worth it with the PD built. I think if you have a read on your opponent's break habits, I think you just have to counter break sometimes, especially when you take into effect or take into consideration what I said earlier about not every count. Like this is okay. Let me rant for a minute. This is like the it's very easy as a player to think that everything you do will always be the worst case scenario. It's like actually a psychological thing that people have studied in like, you know, experiments and tests and stuff. People are just ready to accept the worst case no matter what. They think And you can see this when you talk to people about, say, matchups in a fighting game. They're like, you know, like how do I guard on defense? How do I stop this guy? And I'm like, well, you have a DP and a backdash. And he's like, yeah, but every time I DP, he baits it. And I'm like, well, press jab then. He's like, yeah, well, every time I jab, he just counter hits me. But then, well, why don't you try backdashing? Yeah, well, every time I backdash, he just chases me down. And I'm like, what you're doing is you're thinking about all the worst case scenarios at the same time, right? And this is really detrimental to fighting game analysis. You have to understand, like, you have to be willing to look at the good of what you're doing as well as the bad and weight it accurately, and not just think that everything you do will always be punished correctly by your opponent, you know? So what I think is, and not to say that either of these players have ever said that to me, you know, just talking in general, because I'm a person who posts on forums all the time, not just the KI forums. I used to be a big poster on Shoryuken, and I have like 8,000 posts or something from 10 years on Shoryuken, where I would analyze and talk about Street Fighter with Street Fighter 4. And it happens in that game too. They're like, man, nothing I do will ever work because my opponent will just always have the perfect counter ready. But in reality, it doesn't work that way, especially in KI, which is such a scrambly game, right? So people talking about like counter breaker is such a risk, and it can be if your opponent punishes correctly every time, but they often don't in this game. And I think the risk is actually considerably less than it seems at first look. You know what I mean? So I think all players, even our best tournament players who seem to have success without counter breaks, I think what they're actually doing by not counter breaking is leaving themselves huge damage because they're scared of too many negatives that don't actually happen to them, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And it's not like these players are bad, it's just that they're getting trapped by the psychological impact of fighting games. Fighting games are just scary to play. But if you can fight through it, you can be like Jobin, Street Fighter player, who just DPs everything, and it's super, super sick. And this guy's amazing. I mean, you don't have to be as far gone as Jobin, but you know what I mean? Like, if you incorporate more risks, your opponent freaks out because he's like, this guy is a crazy lunatic. And you just win, despite playing a lot more solid than your opponent thinks. Just a little name drop here. I went to Japan in 2011 and I beat Jobin in the arcades. So yeah, he can hold that. Alright, we're back into the match. Wants to switch to Mage again. Nice block again. Punish. Oh, did he get him? Not quite. No break. That's like, I don't know how many times he's done this now. He hasn't tried to break the Shadow Trailblazer after Inferno at all. Oh wow, throws him out of it. Yeah, you cannot challenge this. This is plus as hell. This is a jump-in attack. You cannot punish. Goes for burnout again. And after burnout and after combo breaker, Adelta has done this like, I don't want to say every time, but pretty much every time, where he does heavy shoulder to get back in. Does he take the pip here? Even an instinct? No, he backs away. He backed away from a wall spot. He was scared of DP, right? But maybe he wants his health to regenerate. Oh man, that. I was talking about how tough this move is to punish, and I think in this situation it's especially difficult because, especially after waiting there for a while, I think DP it's just hard to react in this situation because you don't have the freeze to help you. So I would probably have gotten hit by that too. And now he has to I would DP out. Wow, he stays patient. DP. Oh, didn't get it. No punish on his DP though, and there's the DP on the anti-air. And he tried to break recapture, I think. And Illusion got him with the trick. And now what's he's got? Not enough. Spent both meters. This could actually hurt him. Yes, it's gonna hurt him, I think. No, wow. Plus, don't press a button. Wow, I don't know why Delta did that. I think this is just a panic. And this is what I like about KI, this panic moment. I love watching people panic. I just love it. I love it when I panic, and I love when my opponent panics. I just think it's fun. It's fun to watch people freak out. And I think all this freaking out, like, you can tell that Illusion was kind of freaking out in that combo. And he spent both his bars, so now he doesn't have Shadow Meter to do that trick where you use the Shadow Bomb to explode early. And he's just like, oh, please, please don't hurt me. But he has, yeah, he just shadows in. And I think that was Ultra. I don't know the Ultra command for... no, Eyedol's Ultra command is just quarter circle forward punch, right? And that's not a quarter circle forward punch move. So he meant to do this. It was a good break. And he's this plus. But why Delta? Oh. I'm not sure why he reversaled there. He could have just blocked. So the stance switch is actually it has a startup. Sorry, does it? No, it has no recovery, but it has a couple frames of startup. You're invincible during that startup, but it has startup. So what it means is that if you're like plus, so let's say you're like +2 on a move, and then you stance switch after it, you aren't +2 when you come out of the recovery. You're like -1 or something. You're like a couple frames worse. So I think Delta was like, man, I was only like 0 there on that. I wasn't really advantage. And then I switched, so I'm like even worse advantage. So I was like, I have to just get off me with reversal. But he picked a 38 frame reversal with no hitbox. And yeah, I think you just got to block and try and take your medicine there. Maybe shadow counter out or something. Zipmaster says, I can't believe we are having a conversation about counterbreakers being not risky. Looks like there was some conversation I missed. I think counterbreakers are risky. Certainly they are. If your opponent is on point, you will eat a big damage combo if you're wrong. The thing is that they won't always be on point, right? And I actually don't think the evidence is there to prove me differently. Like if you watch tournament sets, and you like, let's say I watched a 4-hour 8-bit beatdown, and I counted all the counterbreakers that were punished correctly and those that were not punished correctly, I bet you it'd be about 50-50. Maybe even less actually, for less in favor of the good punish. It's actually just really hard. Like, it's just challenging. You're only about -25, I think, on counterbreakers. Like we're talking like grounded ones, not the aerial ones. I think you're only about -25. And it comes out of nowhere, right? It's like, you might not think the guy is ready to counterbreak at all. So not only do you have to note, or in your head you have to see the counterbreaker within about half of a second, you have to press a button. So let's say you press a fierce, that's like 9 frames of startup, right? That takes 9 frames off of your punish. So if you're ready for it, it's like super easy. But if you're not ready for it, it's like actually quite tough. When do high-level players not punish a counterbreaker? I'd say like 50% of the time. And I think in this match, it's happened numerous times, and I'd consider these players not the best in the world, but certainly not terrible. And I watched Killer Instinct World Cup, and I saw lots of missed counterbreakers going for free. I don't think the evidence is there, man. Or they punish with a throw, which is like 10% damage, Basfree says. Yeah. They also might just punish with a throw, which I think is, like, again, I did the math. Zipmaster says, I'll say yes, they punish with a throw, but not mispunish. I think even mispunish is legit. I've seen people like just hold up because they're scared of, like, say Thunder doing, like, you know, command grab stuff, and he tries to counter break instead, and the guy's like, I'm out of here, I'm just holding up. It happens with Gargos too. But let's talk about the throw punish, right? 8% or 9%. Let's even give you 10%. 10% damage. What's your average counterbreaker combo? I have all the numbers on my guide. Even at zero life, we're talking 50% for most characters. Or 0 meter, I should say. So at 10% compared to 50%, let's say, you have to be right. If you're wrong 5 times and right once, you're even on the damage, right? If you're wrong 5 times and he throw punishes you, he's done 50% to you, and then you just need 1 to counter back to get back all that damage. So can you do better than 1 in 5 success on counter breakers? If you do, then I think you win the damage trade. And if you're worse than 1 in 5, I'd consider you probably not very good. Or you know what I mean? Like, you can get better at that. I'd say most players are probably, what, 30% success rate? 33, 1 in 3 sounds about right to me. So yeah, I'd say if they throw punish, just keep doing it, because the damage is super in your favor. And I think throw punishes are very common for these moves. Even if they punish with like light into like wind kick or something like that, it's about a throw punish worth of damage. They have to punish with a fierce into a shadow for it to be worth it. And again, that's why I really like KI. I love the scramble situation, and I love the fact that good players will punish with fierce into shadow. And the more frequently you can do that, the better you are, and the better you overcome the randomness of the scrambles. Like, it's actually a skill that you can practice. And I think a lot of KI players are not particularly good at that skill, myself included. It's just a really difficult skill. Zero +1, and he got counter hit again. So as I mentioned before, if you guys are just tuning in, there is a gap between the 2 swings of the club. If you do the heavy version, 1, 2, and he got counter hit. If you're Cinder or any character with a DP, you should just mash DP after you see the wind up of the club. Easier for Cinder because it's a down-up movement. Not as easy for DP motion characters. Command grab. Tried to bait DP. Again, this is +4, right? He's +4 after this command grab. You're in the blender. This is tough. But he blocked. And I like the tip grab, but the counter hit like made that mess up. Wow, he tried to bait TP again. Gets thrown. Level 4 burnout ender. And again, excuse me, I was saying that Delta loves to do shoulder after both combo breaker and burnout ender, which leave you at about the same screen space. He's just done shoulder like almost every time. So here comes the shoulder. And it worked this time because of Inferno. And you could see that I think Illusion was ready for this particular thing, because he had caught him trying to shoulder in before using Inferno, actually. So it was a good choice from Illusion, but I think Delta used the Projectile Invincible Shadow to get through it this time. Instant cancel. Get him. Oh no. Again, stand medium kick is your button there. This is a couple times he's missed this punish. There's stand medium kick, and there's big damage. Can he convert? Can he recap? Okay, now for sure he can. Meter ender? Yeah. Smart. Nice block. He has to hold this, but again, just block low here. Everything's okay. He died because of chip, right? He must have got hit by... He must have stood up from the lightning. Hard to tell. Wow, I'm not sure why he threw him there. Gave him a bit of free instinct. DP? I think this will work, yeah. I don't think that DP has a pretty big hitbox above his head. Here comes the Illusion setup, or the Delta setup. But again, take a look at the worst case there. 12%. He blocked it out. It's really smart instinct activation. So I think Delta spent 2 bars, all of his instinct, and got 15%, maybe 16%, you know? It required a good instinct activation from Illusion to get out of this second setup. But I don't think it's... Like, it's frustrating because you're like... I was saying to some friends, it's frustrating because whenever you get hit by mix-ups where there's just a lot of stuff on the screen, like we're talking Gargos, we're talking this, we're talking like frickin' jam session mix-ups in Marvel where you just can't see your character, like that is frustrating. So I think people overvalue those mix-ups where they get hit because they're like, man, what am I supposed to do? It's so stupid because I just can't see what's going on. I don't think the damage in this case is extra troubling though. That makes sense. I think it's a decent mix-up, and I think it's Delta's specialty, and he should go with it because it's working a lot. But I think his opponents should not stress it too much. Breaks heavy recapture again instead of waiting for after the manual this time. And there's Delta trying to, or there's Illusion trying to check shoulder with Inferno. It's a pretty common pattern from these guys, both of them. Didn't stand up to block. Got him this time, but yeah, this is tough for Cinder. Go get him! Go get him! Yeah, this is tough now. He's just gonna jump back. Yeah, that was good. That was good. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. He tried. He tried. Gave it the old college try, but just too far away. Yeah, I think he had his chance here. Where he switched. Where was it? A little further back. Yeah, we'll watch this again. So a good block. You probably... I don't think you could have punished with Shadow Trailblazer. Probably too far, right? Well, maybe you could have. Maybe you could have. I'm curious. This is why I had the game open. Let's try it. I have to switch the order, though. Hopefully this isn't too hard to punish, or too hard to tell. Yeah, this actually will be pretty easy. Let's just do record. Okay, ready? Let's try this, and then I'll do this. What? My inputs are like, there's no up input in there at all. That's the input, right? Weird. Huh. That's really bizarre. Okay, anyway, whatever. Try again. Okay, punish. Can I get there? Yeah, not even close. Okay, good to know. I thought that was a little further. Now is his chance there. I think if he explodes the bombs, he puts him in block stun and then can come close. But I think after a certain point here is just Dunzo. That's alright though. Delta played well that match. 5-5. I like this set a lot. Alright. Not a combo. This combo is actually surprisingly tricky sometimes. Like the lightning can hit funny, I think, and the timing for the teleport varies a little bit. So you can tell it was an uncombo. Got him. Oh, whiff punish. Delta, please. I think for sure you got a free whiff punish there. Wow, got him with the nice mix-up. Oh, that was definitely a DP that he neutral jumped on. Well, maybe not. Maybe try to do a juggle combo there differently. Oh, that's hard to break. Wow, really? Crossfired the other way. One chance from Delta. Medium sweep, yeah. That's a common juggle from him. Oh yeah, you can't challenge. Oh, look at the big counterbreaker. Now, if we're talking about counterbreakers that are easy to punish, these are easy. These are like minus 120, so you have like 2 full seconds to, like, you know, open your Twitter account, you know, maybe DM some people, come back and press fierce, right? So it's a good punish. And this builds 2? Yes, it built 2 ender levels. He was level 1 when he started. Level 2, level 3. So if you have lockout, see, if you have lockout immediately, it's good. But if you notice a lockout when it's already about half over, it's no good. He'll get a chance to break at the end. So you have to do it early. But I think it's a pretty strong white life building shadow. Get him! Oh, please stand medium kick Delta or Illusion. Stand medium kick. Ugh. Again. Oh well, okay. DP's alright. Yes, I got him. Burning up. And now, oh, That's him trying to do recapture. You can tell when you do jump fierce or jump roundhouse, it's him trying to do low recapture to the ground. It's actually not that easy. It's pretty droppable. There's like a height restriction, and KI does not give you the move if you do the command under the height restriction. You just get something else. Street Fighter V, I think, gives you the command when you reach the apex of the height restriction, but not this game. Got him with the reversal, and now he's just going to have to block it out, but it's okay. Just hold down back, no problem. Got him, whiff punish it. Well, okay, we'll call that a whiff punish. That was the I'm going to DP because I DP all the time. But in this case, it was also a whiff punish, so it works out. Get him? Oh, not quite. There's a get him. Yeah, he's going to use... I would take meter here. Okay, so he spent this trying to get the... He wanted the level 4 burnout. I would have just taken the meter back here, but it's okay. The reason it didn't... It did really high PD increase earlier, and nothing there was because the scaling was too low, right? Combo scaling comes into effect for both white life and regular life. So if you do late in a combo, it does less white life. Yes. Burn out the arms, and now if I catch him again, I would immediately burn out the feet. So remember I said jab, 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 fake out fission was plus on block. If you do anything that isn't jab, 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 it's not plus, because jab, 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 for some reason, just puts you in a ton of block stun. I'm not sure why, but it does. His other moves do not put you in enough block stun to make it plus. So here he does, he's trying to bait DP, right? He gets in here, he does thing into fake out, but he pressed another button there, and he got clipped, and not quite safe. Not quite advantage, I should say. Yeah, people are talking about the most damaging shadow linkers in the game. Definitely, Spinal's Soul Sword, Shadow Soul Sword, is like big time damaging. Like we're talking top 3 or 2 in the game. Bassfree says far HP into fake out is +2. That's cool. I don't think stand medium kick was. I bet you that's probably like -2 or 3. Get him! Yes, what a punish! This is the Street Fighter V shimmy. Let's watch that again. Oh, what? I like it. Now he could have broken this recapture, but he was probably like too busy thinking about his life, and he didn't. Yeah, he didn't break it all. Meaty? No. Instinct. Instinct DP. Light DP again. Yeah, I would have broken there. And here comes the Delta setup. What's he got this time? Just block low. Oh. Got clipped. Wow, big break for his life. Alright. No DP on the jump. Got him. Now you're stuck. Oh, he jumped away. Why would you jump away? I think he still gets hit. If you're trying to bait DP, you get clipped by DP, right? If you jump, no, maybe not. But he just wanted to avoid instinct activation, probably. But Cinder can't easily do DP and instinct activate because he's in the air. You just hit him. So it's kind of like, I'm not sure what the jump is here. He wants mage, I guess. He wants to, like, got him, yeah. What? Whoa, what? Delta, or illusion. This is super smart. I didn't even think about this. The full screen projectile and no dice, and it goes away if you hit him, which is really important too because you can get through. And Delta obviously freaks out and tries to guess break because he's like so surprised to hit him. Oh, style combo because he's feeling himself. Well, you know, buddy, if you do a style combo, I think you gotta nail it. That's an unfortunate drop of the style combo. I might even want to take one of your games away because of that. If you're feeling yourself with a style combo, man, you got to make sure you hit it. Man, Illusion was down 4-1 and comes back now 6-5. I'm talking about this a lot in terms of Illusion's perspective, by the way, just because he's in the chat and Delta is not. So maybe makes a bit of sense, but I think Delta's actually playing quite well too. Like, I maybe talking a little bit less about it from his perspective, but I don't. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to be super one-sided here or anything like that. All right, nice punish. Now look at that mage damage. That's like 10% and level 3 white life. This mage throw is super serious. He doesn't get a lot after it. He's like actually quite far away. In the corner even, he's only kind of like 0 or +1 or something. Let's block. Okay, not... Yeah, well, okay. He's going to the well one too many times here, I think. He didn't get punished for it this time, and hasn't in the past, but I think it might come back to hurt him. Trying to keep Cinder at bay with those big projectile normals. Cinder tries to jump and just gets clipped, right? So he's trying to force Cinder to think about how to approach that isn't in the air. Shoulder not punished. DP is not fast enough to punish the shoulder. Does not break medium. This is actually one of the first times that Delta has, or sorry, that Illusion has done a Trailblazer combo involving 2 Trailblazers. That was light, and there's medium, and I think, well, Delta has been hesitant to break those combos in general, even when Illusion has done them. But I think Illusion's done a good job about mixing up his Cinder combos to make that harder to break. Sometimes he does 1 Trailblazer, other times he does 2, you know. And I think if you switch them up often enough, it makes it difficult to break, even though in theory it's not that hard. Does chip damage reset the PD generation countdown? Yes, it does. Any damage resets it. So chip damage is damage. DP's out of the +4. Ends the target combo with medium this time. I think Delta has broken both light and heavy, so it's a good chance to switch it up a bit. That's super minus. Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, if you do any Inferno close up like this, it's like, and you hold it, if you don't hold it, it's like, I don't know, -2-ish, but if you hold it, it's like -9. Yeah, this is like big time. Get him. Oh, not quite. That's the medium fired up, so he gets the free chip. Tries to bait DP, which is, I think, a good idea. Yes, no anti-air that time. You could tell he was kind of ready for it, but didn't pull the trigger. Get him. There's another medium target combo. But no, punish! One time, please! Delta, no! Fool me once, fool me twice, but fool me 4 times. Once, twice. Oh no! Just press stand light kick, my man. It's no problem. And guess is wrong on the DP, but I like meter here. I would rather be full on meter as Cinder than have burnout at the start of the round. DP. One chance into another DP. Oh, we didn't get to see what happened there because of the spinal. But Illusion died. And that's all that matters. Is low and mid Inferno different frame data? For safety on block, I don't think so. If they are, it's like very minor difference. It's not like one of them is safe and the other one isn't or something like that. If you hold both of them, they're both bad news. There's medium recapture, Delta or Illusion breaks. Heavy breaker on the target combo. And he has to hold this chip, hold this pressure. I would just block low and no problem. Wow, for some reason the pillar here, he was out of range because of the DP hit so far behind him. And Delta is not ready to challenge after the Trailblazer. Here, you can DP if you're really ready. Just mash jab if you're not ready, because mashing jab doesn't require a motion and it's quite easy. But he backdashes instead, which is actually a quite difficult motion on the hands to like let go of to block and then also backdash. So he was kind of ready, but ready with the wrong punish, unfortunately. Oh wow, DP recaptured the DP after the DP's invincibility had worn off. Oh. Jab into something, into here comes a new follower. Baits shadow counter, and this is Chip and White Life. And Delta respected his plus frames because he was baiting DP. Instead he did jab into light meteor, which my guess was trying to be a DP if he was in the other body. Maybe he thought he was an instinct, because I don't think that was intentional at all. Certainly jab into light meteor here is supposed to be DP, I think. But no medium break again. Yeah, and he's going to pay for it with a big combo. 50%. And this is unsafe. Okay, instant cancel. Now he's in there. Yeah. It's a good block from Delta. You can see a bit of the rollback there. Cross ocean play. Oh, he caught backdash. Get him. Heavy, medium, break. Man, I would have broken that. So, super smart. I mean, I would have counter broken that, I should say. So this is... I think the decision to not break is smart on Delta's part. I think Illusion just outplayed him in there a little bit. Like, I don't know. I would have broken. I would have combo broken if I was the Eyedol player, and I would have counter broken if I was Cinder. So, I don't know. Shows what I know. That's why I'm analyzing and not playing. Teabag too. Illusion's feeling himself. He pulled it back from 4-1 down, and now he's 7-5. So, you know, I guess you're allowed to feel yourself a little bit. The third killer says nobody cares about KI frame data. It's all about hitting buttons and hoping it works. I think all fighting games are like that. TBH, right? If you play Street Fighter V and you're like not pressing buttons, you're kind of doing it wrong. I don't know. Button pressing is what you do in these games. You just gotta press them smartly. Again, I think Mage, you can tell Cinder really struggles with Mage form. I think just the zoning and the fact that Cinder's air approaches are slow. Like, he can't just immediately invalidate the zoning by teleports or fast horizontal moves. He has to like really respect these meteors and these like stand medium punches and stuff like that. So I think if you're Cinder, you kind of just want to block it out, because you don't want Mage to get close to you, because then he's got pipped stomps and stuff like that. You just want to like let him freak out for a bit, let him do his thing, and then he's going to eventually switch, because that's how the character works. And here he finally does switch. And now he goes in. No, and okay, and again, no break. He didn't break the recapture, and he didn't break that moment after either. So Delta changing his play up a little bit. And again, good guess break on the target combo. Got thrown out of the plus frames there. Medium, juggle, medium DP, yeah. No break again. No recapture. And didn't break at all this time. And if you're noticing the pattern, there it is again. After burnout and their shoulder coming. Just, it's more or less every time. And if you were Illusion, he's tried to beat it with Inferno. I would just Trailblazer here. Or neutral jump. Neutral jump with dive kick down. Recapture down, like just to like really make sure you get him. Thanks for subscribing, Last Protocon. I appreciate your subscription to someone else's channel. Kronos asks, in Filament, you've probably been asked, but have you decided or not decided to further update your KI site with new character data or patches? So I will continue to update my site with the patch notes. I know I haven't done it for 3.7 yet. The reason I haven't is because it actually requires me to do some changes on a bunch of pages. Like for example, Jago, the new wind kick change means I have to change a bunch of videos, which is, changing videos is always a pain. I have to reshoot video and think about it. I have to go through all my character pages and make sure all the data is correct. So it takes a while, but I'm planning to do that. So I won't leave that undone. The new characters I am not planning to do at this point in time, as sad as it is to say. So maybe that will change in the future. For now, I think I will just hold off on doing those just to take a bit of a break. I am actually planning to do some other updates to my guide that aren't the characters. And I don't really want to say what they are yet because I want to make sure that I can work on them at my own pace. And maybe they don't happen because I just run out of energy. But if I do make them happen, then I will for sure announce them at the right time. But I am sort of working on some side projects on the side for my guide. And when that happens, I will let you all know. Sorry. Thanks again for the subscription. And here's the true block string. DP coming. Yes. And good punish. Level 3 punish is good. It's at 27%. It's not bad for Cinder. Tavo says, so changes coming soon, TM, which is a, a remark about the KI community guy who constantly uses coming soon, or stay tuned or whatever. No, I'm not. Yeah, I don't want to give you guys. I don't want to be that kind of guy. I'm not the coming soon type of guy. I'm always happy to tell you guys what I'm doing as soon as I know and I'm ready to commit to something. It just so happens that with this particular guide change, I'm not sure if I will finish because it's actually quite a big thing. But if I am almost ready to finish and it's like, you know, very close to being done, I will announce it at that time. Here comes meteors. Wow, good blocks. And punish, yeah, good blocks. The overhead here is tough to block because Delta has always gone low at the start. So to come out with overhead here is good, and then he blocks low. It's really smart. But if you're watching for it, if you know exactly what you're watching for, it's actually quite reactable. The problem is that you actually just kind of tune out, even if you're like trying to watch for these moves, like the animation of the upswing, which causes the high meteor, or the animation of the low zap, right? You just kind of, your mind just kind of goes blank in some of these situations, you know what I mean? So to like be ready for this situation, you can see he's going to do the upswing. Here comes the high meteor. He blocks it standing, and then there's the low club swing. So he blocks correctly, and then instant cancels and punishes the DP. So really smart. And Delta frustrated, guessed heavy, or guessed, no, illusion. What's up, bud? Man, and now you're freaking out. Okay. This was freak out city, but it worked out for you. You had to spend a bar, but I think the alternative was worse. So definitely spend the bar is good. And finally, a counter break on the recapture attempt, which I like, especially since it was not punished well. And I think this particular recapture is quite tough to punish because when you snap to the ground like this, it's like, it's visually jarring, so it's actually quite easy to not punish correctly. Build meter. Or the pip, yes. I'll take the pip. He already had full meter. Alright, pip is better. And now, okay, not the best choice from Delta there. I like the stand heavy kick though. He's freaking out on when he's in mage form, he just wants to be anywhere except close. But I actually don't think that mage is bad up close. In fact, I think he might be almost as good as warrior because Stomp is such a good special move, and he still has access to really awesome kick normals. So you don't have to fight with the punch normals at all. You just press stand light kick and low medium kick, and stand heavy kick, and then cancel them all into stomps, which are all plus and all do good shit. So he's trying to freak out. He's like teleporting. He's jumping. But stand heavy kick into stomp. He could have converted there, just wasn't quite ready. but it's totally fine to fight close range as mage. And he spends both bars here. Okay, he gets a teleport mix up, but 3%, right? This is a pretty expensive 2 bars. What's the, yeah, see, 3%. I mean, works. It hit him, but now he's in mage form, and in the form he doesn't seem to be comfortable in fighting close. Stand heavy kick, and goes with, he got interrupted on, like, say, meteor kick here, or meteor summon. He just definitely doesn't buy the close range strength of mage. Oh, no punish. Okay. Bit of a scramble. In Filament, would you consider Gargos' Crouch Medium Punch a close range normal or mid range normal? I think both. It's his #1 best pressure normal, and it's his best mid range normal. So I think just it's his best normal in general. Is the stream okay for you guys? I think it's I know it's quite low bitrate just because my internet sucks. Let me know if it's like super unwatchable though. I know the particles from Eyedol are just brutal, so it probably hurts the stream quality. And again, no break from Delta on the Trailblazer. He hasn't broken that one time. And did Cinder have meter to shadow counter here? No, he didn't. But I was saying you cannot jump cancel or run cancel anything except the three swing fierce earlier than the last hit. So if he had meter here, this would have been a free shadow counter. There's nothing you have to worry about with jump canceling. So just keeping that in mind if you ever fight it against an Eyedol player. And Illusion takes another one. He's on quite a streak here. Went from 4-1 down, so he's like won 7 of the last 8 games. Quite a streak. Yeah, sorry about the pixelation, guys. It's been my internet probably wouldn't be able to keep up with it too much higher of a bitrate. My internet's also been pretty finicky the last couple weeks, so I didn't want to risk it. In the future, I will maybe try streaming slightly higher. But it's too late to change now. I just kind of want to get through the rest of this. It's already quite late. I'm having fun, though. I hope you guys are having fun. Good block. Yeah, I tried to get through. You have to be super ready for this, and it's like I wouldn't even try without a projectile invincible. Nice bait. Oh, no punish though. Speaking of punishes, yeah, there's a counter breaker. That's what I like to see. And it's a really smart counter breaker because it's the exact spot. I think Illusion really sat and thought about it, and he's like, where is he breaking? He's breaking not my recaptures all that often, but he is breaking third hit of target combo a lot. So I think this is a good spot to try it. Plus you get corner and level 4 burnout, and you can win the round right here. Tried to guess break. He's not going to die. Or really, maybe he is going to die. Oh, he is. Jeez. Wow, he taunted. Wow, no DP, and I think this is a really smart adjustment from Delta because for sure Illusion is just waiting for another DP here, and he was going to punish with Shadow like he's been doing. This is a good adaptation by Delta to command grab here. Put him in the blender. Yep, put him in. This is tough. Yep, do it again. +4. Got him this time. Here comes the Delta special. Command grab into the meteors, into back throw for 13%, and that's all unbreakable. Again, normally that would be techable, but in this patch that is an untechable grab. But I did want to mention again earlier that I think a Cinder can just freely DP here, and I think you should try that Illusion if you play against an Eyedol player who does this. Maybe if you guys play another set sometime. I would just try DPing like 80% of the time. Just do it. And you don't really care that you give up some damage. really matters is that you get out of the setup. And you make Delta force himself to not attack you, and then you can just sometimes not do it and get out for free. Punish City. Alright, another one. No break. No break after either. And for the 100th time, Delta does shoulder after burnout. Burnout under, shoulder. He had no meter, but shoulder is still minus here. Big time plus into throw into, yeah, I like the burning out of the feet. I really like that Cinders will, if they have a level 3 or level 4 burnout on one set, that they don't refresh the hands or the feet. They instead go for the other one and double burnout, because the value is so high. And I really like this, because now he can win off one opening. Or pretty close. Oh wow, 2 amazing techs. DP, oh! I think that was a frustration shadow counter. He was like, I should have DP'd, and then, oh. And now he's gonna die. He tried to DP out, but... And Eyedol is just, yeah, building a pip, which is great. Wow, the reverse taunt. Are you allowed to taunt when you're losing? I like the whip punish there. Get him. Yes. He has to throw because the meteors build all the PD. Or the KD, rather. So you're probably safe to try and tech the throw there if you're the opponent. No medium break. Is he going to break here? Yes, again. So you can see Delta really doesn't like breaking the obvious quote-unquote points of the combo. So like Trailblazer or Recapture, but he loves guessing afterwards. Sometimes it will be on the third hit of the target combo, and other times it will be right after the Recapture. But he's been fairly consistent about not letting those go. I think maybe only once or twice he has let it go. Delta says, God, that was stupid on my end, and Illusion says my AAs are hot trash. So both of you guys, I'm not sure if you were here at the beginning. I'm kind of having a bit of fun here, sort of poking fun at you guys, but I want to make sure that I know that I think you guys are both good players, and playing KI is really hard, and there's tons of optimization all over the place in this game. Like, no matter, you could watch Rico versus Base play in the grand finals of a tournament, and you could critique them with just the same level of severity, right? Like, this is a hard game with lots of optimization that's difficult. So I say things like this, and it's very easy to critique yourself when you watch, like, man, I suck. I missed like the 6th anti-air in a row and I keep doing this stupid thing. But if you watch yourself play like this, and you sort of separate the emotion of playing and analyze your play more subjectively, like sort of what I'm doing, you can do this to yourself, right? Just watch your own replays. You will get better so much faster, because you are not in the moment, and you're not like mad at your opponent, or you don't have the adrenaline going through your body. Instead, you're just like, oh, I can see why that's a bad idea. Maybe in the future I will try to not do that. Or, you actually can analyze more objectively. So I would encourage everybody who really wants to get better to analyze their own replays and not stress out too much about the optimizations as you're playing. Another thing I wanted to say is I think KI is one of the most underexplored fighting games that has been played for more than 2 or 3 years. Like, KI is so deep. Like, whenever I watch people criticize KI about things like, random guess breaking, or like YOLO DPs, or whatever the hot thing to hate on these days is, but then I watch them do a bunch of really suboptimal combos, and I watch them counter break incorrectly, and I watch them not capitalize on correct minus frames for their opponent's attacks, and I watch them like lose a bunch of scrambles because scrambles are impossible to win all the time. It's just like, I see constant room for improvement from every player. And as a fighting game player, you should love that. You should love being challenged in that way. You should love being forced to keep a bunch of difficult tasks in your mind at the same time and overcome them at the same time. That's why fighting games are so awesome, and that's why all the best fighting games to watch are, what are they? They are Guilty Gear, they are Killer Instinct, they're these high octane, like Marvel. Everybody loves watching Marvel, even though it's You know, you can have like Touch of Death infinites and stuff. The neutral in Marvel is so exciting because it's so frantic and it's so high pressure. So whenever you say like YOLO this, YOLO that, oh this guy sucks, he's just mashing jab, it's like he's mashing jab because he's so terrified. And as a player, you should be able to look at that terror and capitalize on it. And that's why fighting games are awesome. It's so much more fun to play a fighting game that's so free form like this, like Smash Brothers is, like Melee is so much fun because it's so free form. And the opposite of free form is something that's rigid and prescribed and constructed, where your options are decided by the designer and you have one or two like guaranteed good decisions. And I personally find those games, like they have their moments where you kind of just want to chill and play something, but they're less exciting in the long term, and there's less room for optimization. So sorry for the rant. I just think KI is cool in that way, and I think as a community we should embrace that about our game. We should embrace that KI is fun in this sort of maximizing these optimization problems. It's really difficult to do, and in 3 years our best players are still actually they're not the best at it. They're good in a bunch of other areas, and that's why they win. But there's just so much room for improvement in this game no matter how good you are, and that's why we should really like this game. Nice block. Again, he's gonna have to hold this from again. That was probably the rewind, sorry. Yeah, only 3% damage there, so fine. Here's the massive plus frames. He challenged with his own DP out of plus frames. No recapture, and he guesses there again. He guessed medium. There's a switch. DP challenge. Nice block. Is he gonna do DP? No. Nice blocks. Just didn't panic. Did he get him? Yes. Yeah. Oh, no ultra from Illusion. And I will talk about that in a second. Certainly he tried ultra there and it didn't come out. Is he gonna cost him the game? Will he scramble back? Nice. Breaks medium. Wow, he woke up command grab. And again. Oh, he finally punished. He punished with the correct button too. Man, he woke up command grab. I love it. I actually really like it. I think it's a good it's a good idea because people are trying to bait your DP, right? What's the answer to baiting DP? Grab. Like it's like Yomi level 3. I hate using that stupid word, sorry. But like yeah, it's like actually it's not a bad idea. It looks scrubby, but it's not a bad idea. And that was certainly a frustration DP from Illusion because why wouldn't you be frustrated? You just got hit by 2 command grabs. Oh no. Well, I think Delta played that really well. Yeah, and you can tell he's feeling himself with the full screen run. So what I wanted to say about that Ultra command is that there are some characters in this game that that cannot Ultra from the very, very tippy-tip max range of some of their special moves. And they've been trying to fix this bug. It's not even a bug, it's just like a, you know, they didn't anticipate this being a problem. But like Thunder used to not be able to do it from Ankle Slicer. If he hit with the tip of Ankle Slicer, he couldn't do it. There were a couple other examples that I can't think of at the moment. But Cinder couldn't do it here because of the same problem. So if you notice, he did medium, medium, medium. He's still on block for some reason. Please don't block. Okay. If you do medium, medium, medium fission, that's a combo, right? It's no problem. Oops, that's not even the ultra input. Show us how much I play this character, right? Let's turn on regenerating health so it doesn't happen again. But if you do, like if you're like this close, right? This is pretty reasonable range, right? It's no problem. Ultra comes out just fine. If you're like a little further away, like here maybe. I did the wrong command again. Come on. Man, I suck. See? Ultra didn't work there because he's out of range. And it only happens at the tip of this move. It's like a very specific range. But like from like anywhere closer, like here. Oh, it didn't work there either. Okay. So we're talking like mid-range and out. That worked. Okay. So if you notice that this is happening to you, there's two options. First of all, what I would recommend you do as a punish is this. This will always work because you're pushing yourself into range. And you did have meter to, I believe, do that here. Well, you had meter because Shadow Trailblazer came out. Yeah. Or Shadow Inferno. So it's a very odd situation. It's something that I hope they fix in the future, where they just sort of extend the range that Ultra is allowed. But he's not the only character with this problem. Like I say, Thunder. Mira has the same problem, where she tries to do recapture after launcher ender, and it's too far away for her Ultra. But she can do other enders. So it's a kind of a weird quirk of the Ultra system. And in these situations, if you have the ability to recognize that's going to happen to you, you can just spend Shadow Meter and just get close. And now we'll get to watch Wake Up Command Grab again, and then block a DP, and then punish. Alright, moving ahead. Yeah, it's an interesting quirk of the Ultra system, hey? Because Ultras don't trigger unless they're in range. It's a range thing. That's why Glacius can't do Ultra off of like full screen away when he's doing his auto doubles, like his ranged ones. He has to be within a certain range. In general, they've been trying to like fix it for the characters that have had the problem. So like I say, if you read the patch notes from like recently, they fixed it for Thunder, and they fixed it for a different character earlier in Season 3. So it's one of those things that they just don't know about, because the situations coming up are so spacing dependent, it's really hard to know. So I reported it in the bug thread actually, so hopefully they take a look at that. I hope it's an easy fix. But in the meantime, it's actually something very easy you can do, is just spend the meter to get close. Nice punish. And like I said, this is max damage. If you can hit confirm that this works, always do heavy uppercut there. Not only do you get a hard manual, but it's the most damaging opener. Nice punish. He's learned. Delta's learning about how to punish that. Crouch medium kick is 6, or crouch medium punch rather is 6. Get him? No, yeah. Oh, he tried. That was a good idea. I like the idea a lot. He was just a little late. He probably didn't realize that the first hit had already whiffed, and he tried to shadow counter with a third hit that didn't exist. Man, he's holding up back. He doesn't believe in the close range power of Mage, so he wants out of there at all costs. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he still got caught. He wanted to avoid the burnout, I suppose, and then the teleport. Yes. Oh, good block. Got rolled back into the block a little bit there. Wow, and he finally blocked teleport. That was really good. He saved himself 3% damage with that block, but it worked out. Heavy auto double not broken, heavy linker not broken, and he's gonna die, right? Yeah. And he switched to Mage. For free. Big damage on that throw. He's gonna break this time? No, still no break. No, that's not gonna work. Good punish. He had to guess there. Yes, that's gonna work, yeah. Not only does Shadow Bolt start up really fast and cover the whole screen, but it erases all projectiles. Like, all projectiles. We're talking like, it'll erase Jago's Shadow Fireball. Like, it'll just wipe it off the screen. It just like nukes everything that's on the screen. Oh, that was good. I like that. Wow, and there's the light breaker that I was talking about. I'm glad that Illusion picked up on it, because this is very common from the light break here, or light DP after his first hit. And punish with the Shadow? Yes, this is going to work for sure. It's only a problem in the corner for the Shadow version, but the light version always can be dodged. Yes, heavy. No, he doesn't do heavy auto double for some reason. Command grab again. Doesn't get him out too much here though. Yes. Stack on that white. Block. Punish. And big time damage. Wow. What did he beat here? Did he try throw? I'm not sure. Doesn't look like he tried throw. That was a throw. And now he's in big time trouble. Super meaty. Yeah, you have to chant. Good blocks. The chip. Yes. Just enough to get instinct, right? Yeah, he didn't have instinct. Look at this. He still doesn't have instinct. And he's going to die to the next hit. But by illusion doing this chip, it not only not killed him, but it gave him the instinct. Right? So that's like, man, I don't know how you tell, right? I don't know how you can optimize the situation, because as illusion, I think what you did is smart. You wanted the chip, obviously. Spending the shadow on chip is smart there, but like, this is what I mean about KI being such a cool game, right? Like, this one particular optimization problem went awry on him in this weird situation that will never occur again in his life. But you look at this back and you're like, wow, that was cool. If I had just realized that in time, I would have maybe won. And it's cool because sometimes you do realize it in a situation like this, and then you do the right thing, and man, does it feel good, right? You think to yourself, man, I am the greatest. And those are the feelings that you live for when you play fighting games. And KI gives them to you a lot, I think. Zyrus says, did they fix Spinal's Shadow Skull being able to go through? You can test by having Eyedol do Shadow Lightning. Then during the screen freeze, use Shadow Skull. I don't know. I've never seen that. Maybe it's a thing. I thought it wiped out all projectiles. Maybe there's a couple that get through. Normally I would test it, but just in the interest of time, I'm going to keep watching this now. And is he going to come back and win? Medium? Oh, he didn't do recapture. Instead, he goes for a reset. What? Yeah. That was like the quadruple shimmy. He did the backwards command grab. I think maybe by accident, because that was kind of weird. I like the punish though. Illusion was like ready, right? I like that Illusion is ready here. He's blocking. He's ready for a mistake. Sorry to skip your game-winning combo, Illusion. We gotta get going. I like that you guys are picking this nice bright stage though. Much better than the Cinder stage that we started on. Heavy auto double, yes. Heavy DP, yes. Manual. It's light this time. Hard to tell that shoulder command grab. Now I would not... I would start using Stomp there. In the situation where you switch with like frame advantage. Well, it's not really frame advantage, but it's something. And you land the stand medium kick, I would do heavy Stomp. And I would just like start doing chip. Because right now you put yourself at risk to like getting clipped by doing this like meteor into dash stuff. You didn't get clipped there, but I think the risk is high. That's -4, yes, clipped him. Still no break. That's like, I don't know, maybe the 12th time he's done that in the set, and there hasn't been a single break attempt on the Shadow. So if you're Delta, or if you're Illusion, you're just like, yeah, I'll take my free level 2 burnout. Get in again with cross-up jump, roundhouse. Wow, break on the light. Tough to challenge that after the club. He's gonna have to, oh wow. He didn't have meter. I think he would have been able to get through if he had meter here. Because he recovers really early, but he decides to hold it and instant cancel. Still got hit by something. Yes, builds the pip. I like it. Okay. No chip. Yes, he takes the plus frames instead of chipping. I like it. That move is so plus. It's actually why I think Cinder's instinct is underrated. I think it's actually quite good, because not only do you get double hitting flash kicks all the time, but you get like massive plus frames off of like everything. So like if you make them block a medium kick, plus frames. If you make them block a jab, you do jab, 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 plus frames. If you You know, and you can turn that into chip or into white life, depending on which shadow meter you spend, or you can just keep doing it over and over again until they flinch. And if you catch a body like Mage or like a character like Conra or something without sand, they just frickin' have to take it because, I mean, eventually they'll maybe backdash, but they're cornering themselves against Cinder, and then you just do Trailblazer in, right? You know. So I think I like that Illusion tried to frame trap with this a bit before going for chip here. I think it's smart. Wall splat throw. Tries to bait the throw. And again, yes, he has meter, but it's in the corner. It's the perfect thing to do if you're not in the corner, but it is in the corner. Crouch Fierce. Oh, sorry. He switched to the other body. That was a good block. This is the first time, maybe in the whole set, that Illusion has not done, that Delta has not done shoulder after breaker or burnout ender. Instead, he catches the anti-shoulder thing, which was Inferno. Blocks it, and then jumps. And now he's going to get recaptured. No. Instead, recapture here. No, sweep. Okay, what you got? Tried to do some empty jump trickery to bait DP. Didn't work. Get him? Yeah, nice. I like the punish a lot. And I like the hard to break combo. Build meter? Yeah. Illusion says, I wish I could hit confirm fission off of crouch medium kick. That doesn't work? Or you mean like actually hit confirm it and not cancel otherwise? That's pretty hard. One hit confirms in general are really difficult in any game. I think they're really hard in KI unless you're Jago. Does it work though? This works, right? Oh, it doesn't even work. Huh. I didn't know that. That's a bummer. Yeah, I guess that's kind of a bummer. But if you do this, well, let me turn on instinct. If you do like this into that, into this, into that, into this, and then sometimes do this, and then do this, I don't know. I think that's still pretty good. It's a bit of a bummer that you can't do low medium kick into fission, but you can also use it as a frame trap. If you do low medium kick and they try to interrupt your Trailblazer, you just counter hit them with the fission, so that's not so bad. Alright, moving on. Shadow Bomb. Interesting choice. I'm not sure it was worth the Shadow Meter to blow up the meteor there. Heavy DP and manual. This heavy this time. Okay, so I like the situation. This comes up a lot in KI, where, okay, so the guy locks out, and you're like, man, he's like almost in danger, but I have no meter, and the KV is almost up. What's the best thing to do? If you do DP, if you do like damage ender, you might not kill them because the KV is, or the ender level is only 2. If you do wall splat, you've maxed out your KV, so now you can't do one hit into ultra. And you don't have shadow meter to push them into danger. So it's like all 3 of your options are kiboshed, and you're kind of stuck in this quandary. And you can see what Delta tries to do about it here. He does wall splat, which puts him in danger, but now he has no way to ultra. So he tries to instinct cancel during the lockout so that he resets the KV. Now one hit will kill him into ultra. And what a break. He broke heavy. It was the right idea, but man. Tries to get out. Can he pick up the juggle? Yes. Wow. Wow, he did a delayed heavy manual into delayed target combo, something or other. I just got clipped. Yeah, the shuffle, the confident shimmy that this match is not over yet. 9-7, he's got to win 3 in a row. Well, 4 in a row, counting the last one. Zyra says, I highly recommend checking Shadow Lightning versus Shadow Spinal's Shadow Skull. As ascribed above, it's a weird interaction. Alright, let's check it out quick. KI PC version has fast load times, so So I will pick, where is he? The main reason I don't do crouch medium kick into Trailblazer is because of the risk. Yeah, it's a little risky, but it's also not that bad. If they mash jab, you'll get hit out of the air. If they DP, yeah, well, maybe, but most people don't DP. Yeah, I don't know. I think just doing like crouch medium kick into fission is still okay, even if it's not a block. If it's not a combo, you get chip and plus frames, and if they press a button, you counter hit them, so it's not so bad, you know. So I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do this. Wow, I can't. How did that not come out? Wow, Scrubtown. Huh. What happened there again? Wow, I have no idea what's happening. Interesting. Yeah, that's the first time I've seen anything like that. I think if you do it with Jago, he just dies. Don't you love PC load times? Man, they're the best. Everybody should play on PC. Oh, I'm not in the form. Come on, guy. Come on, training mode, help me out here. Okay. Yeah, he just dies. So yeah, that's a really weird interaction. Shadow Skull must be some like special projectile or something. Weird. Cool to know though. Man, nice bait on the DP. Not a true punish, but still got him. Trying to flinch with something there. Yeah, and that's impossible. That's a straight guess to break. DP. Okay, that works too, yeah. Or he's in the non-DP form. Oh, punished. Yeah. The meteors blow out, even if you do the 3-hit version, the meteors always blow out. So they're just good for like coverage and blocking, like this. And he has to block. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not the best use of instinct there. You know, half of it drained. He could have just saved it. No break attempt from Delta. One of the few. Here's plus frame city. Yes, I like it. Just keep doing it. Yes, throw him. Make him block a meaty or not block. Now he has to break to get out. Oh, he's gonna get hit, I think. Yeah. Just let it go, it's all good. 20%, it's okay. A lot of meter and a lot of instinct spent. Still in it. There's the command grab into thing, into grab. That's a pretty good setup while the grab is not technical. But again, if you just DP, I think you avoid that situation. Well, that game did... Oh, wow. The slightly more confident shimmy from Delta. The double shimmy in two straight games. Is he going to triple shimmy if he wins again? I like how Cinder players always change the color every game. It's like a Cinder thing to do. Teleport? Yes. 18% is pretty good, actually. If you're willing to accept that you might not get the pip, I think doing that combo is cool. No light break. Does, for some reason, guessed something other than heavy there. Plus. Oh, he tried to throw. Just slightly out of range. Oh, that was from far. And I like that he run canceled this. He run canceled it because you get a combo for free if it hits, but on block you're like super plus. So it's basically a safety net, right? You get the mix up of the overhead without the minus frames, which is like super good, and more idle players should do that. They're saying, wait, we got word on when 3.8 was coming out? Someone heard that 3.8 is on Tuesday? That would be news to me. That seems like quite close to the last patch. I don't know, that seems weird. I don't believe that. DP, punish with medium kick. No, or medium punch. Delta, why no punish? I like how he puts the bomb on him there so we can get close. Alright. He wants mage form and he's gonna suffer on his way. I think he should have just fought it out. Okay, now he's gonna punch, yeah, for sure, yeah. Punch to switch. Wow, he just stands there. Stands there and got stung. Why did he get got here? Wow, he got interrupted on like the startup of back medium punch or something. You can see like the little magic trails. And no punish from so he's really far away, but I think Cinder or Eyedol is like minus 35 here. I think you can do double Trailblazer and still get him. I would have tried anyway. Certainly Shadow Trailblazer would have worked there. But he didn't have meter. Again, he's got to hold this kind of not really scary mix-up. Yes, yes, I was, oh wow, we got him. It was the right idea, just slightly late. I was thinking it was the perfect idea, but just not in time. And now, yeah, I don't know, you just get hit. Yeah, that's tough to challenge there. I think you got to shadow counter it or backdash. Man, that's the first time Delta's tried to break a Trailblazer juggle and guessed wrong on the second Trailblazer, which is never a varied strength. So probably just misremembered how to break that, because sometimes that can be done, right? You're like, you kind of forget which strength is which in the you know, the mix of things. Wow, what happened here? Jab, 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 block string, chip. Baits DP, tries to walk up punish, gets whiff punished on the throw. And that was probably the same input mistake that I had in training mode, where the difference between Fire Flash and Trailblazer is not very much. That's plus, oh, he did it! He got through this time. Remember we were talking about this earlier, where you should mash DP? He mashed Instinct and got out this time. Light. Medium. Not broken. Burned out the arms, and now it's trouble. Plus. Plus. Yeah, he's dead. Oh, he didn't extend. Drop the combo, and now Eyedol's out. DP. Recapture. Oh no! Illusion! Oh, he DP'd. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, watch the punishment here. He DP'd, he traded. The hit counter doesn't even come up. Let's take a look at Cinder's life. How much life did Cinder lose here? He's like in danger. He lost like nothing, like 1%. And he's out. Shadow. Oh. Maybe it wouldn't have worked. Oh no, he lost the round. Good conversion from Delta though. Yeah, Eyedol gets invincibility on stance change, but not after he stance changes. It's only during. He can't dodge straight up punishes. He only recovers. He only tries to stance switch after recovery is over. So if you're like if he's like -5 and you press a jab, you always get him. It's not like his stance change will save him from that. But if he's -5 and you press like a 7-framer, then he might stance switch through your active frames for like a couple frames, you know what I mean? I don't think that's what happened there though. I think he was just out of range. Info, you should probably do this stuff not at midnight. It's almost 3:30 in the morning. Yes, I'm aware it is quite late. I apologize. This is the last game though, and I've been taking a little longer than I would have liked. I was trying to get through this a little quicker because it was quite late. The main reason I did it tonight was because I've been meaning to do a set like this. I haven't done an analysis for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. And it's really hard for me to work up the energy. And I had the energy tonight, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stream. But then the West Coast Warzone was on, so I'm like, man, everybody who might want to watch me might be watching West Coast Warzone. Maybe I'll just wait. And then it was like 11 p.m. or like midnight Eastern or something, and I'm like, well, I guess I could still do it. It'll go on YouTube and people can check it later. But yeah, I thank you guys for sticking with me. I know it's late, and it's Sunday, so everybody has to work or go to school or whatever you yokels do. I don't know. All right, last game. 9 out of 9. Delta had the lead at 4-1, gave up a lot of games in a row, but came back from 9-6 down to 9-9. So I think both players showed a lot of resilience here. Oh, he challenged. Punish, yes. Burnout. Level 1 burnout. He might not be able to capitalize on this too much because it's already gone. Overhead minus. I like the DP. Hard to break juggle. Light, no dice. And there, finally, Illusion didn't give him the chance to break after the recapture, which I like a lot because recapture here somewhere, there. And this is where Delta breaks. He was going to guess break this, almost certainly, because his KV was out. So I think just immediately doing Shadow here was like super smart. Wow, okay. The extension was broken, but he already got the cash out, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, see? That, well, you could see the startup, right? You could see him wind up with medium kick during the stance switch change, the animation. So there was a couple frames there where the animation happened. But it was only during recovery, and it wasn't active yet, so he could block. And he couldn't reversal there because he would just get dunked. Got him, yeah. Not quite meaty. You only have 1 frame to hit that. Nice block again, and the challenge after is good, and the delayed manual, and he is deader than dead. Didn't even have to do damage under, he got the meter back. Man, DP for sure. And I like the break a lot, or the. Unfortunately, he doesn't have. Eyedol really hurts when he has meter and instinct. Unfortunately, he didn't have meter here, so he had to go with the standard counterbreaker combo, which involves a medium auto double at the end there. Okay, he builds for setup. DP, yeah. He DP and he trades, and it's all good. Everything's fine. Nice block. Nice challenge. And Delta guesses him wrong. And there it is again. Burnout into... Stop me if you've heard this one before. Burnout ender into immediate shoulder from Delta. And no shadow counter challenge. I'm not sure why. From probably he was like, I wonder if it's only going to hit 3 or 4 times, and I don't want to mess up. I think from that range though, it always hits 5. I think, yeah, I don't know. He's 9-9 and frustrated at the end of a long set, so he probably was just willing to let it rock. So challenged after club with Trailblazer. That's ballsy. Because yeah, really easy to get stuff there. Oh, that was a good conversion, and the pip too. That's really good. That's actually quite finicky. It's really easy for that to not hit properly and you not to bounce him in the air. So after he gets hit with air meteor here, he does low lightning, but it like sometimes will only hit like once and like you won't get the pip. So that was good timing on Delta's part. Recapture. Damage ender. Still only 22 though. Because the starting hit was not... Oh, nice. Starting hit was not hard. That's the first time I think he's used Stomp in the entire set. It might have been an accident. Man. This is, how did he get the hit here? He just did raw overhead after waking up. Oh man, brutal. And Delta probably didn't realize he even got hit. And no light break, but he guest breaks medium. Delta's guest breaking all the hardest parts. Wow, and he traded, and he's gonna... Wow, the rapid fire teabag. The turbo teabag. One more look at this. Yeah, I love the trade a lot. He just knew he needed a little bit and was willing to trade. Red Cinder is a cool color. I like that color. Dang, what a teabag though. I know I was talking to Delta a little bit, or Illusion after the set. He said he was frustrated with various things that were going wrong in the set. So that teabag was like max frustration mode, you could tell. But I don't know, I thought those guys played really well overall. There was a couple missed punishes, and you could tell that Illusion was like learning the matchup. Man, my voice cracked. And I mean, there were mistakes made. And like I said, every KI player makes a bunch of mistakes all the time because this game is hard. You just make mistakes. You got to live with that and try and minimize it. But I think both players played quite well overall. They adapted, maybe except with the one exception of Delta always doing shoulder after burnout or combo breaker. Which I think if Illusion was able to think about that, which is hard because you don't really see it, you don't see the pattern when you're playing, but if you watch the set after and you have somebody tell you, it's like, oh wait a minute, yeah, you're right, I do that every time. I didn't even notice. If Illusion had picked up on it, he would have been able to punish pretty hard, but you know, it is what it is. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me on a Sunday night, and it's quite late on the East Coast. It's already 4:30, and yeah, I hope you guys had fun watching. Man, the stream was 3 hours long. I really didn't want it to be over like 2 hours. Wonder what happened. How did that happen? Huh. Maybe I'll have to think harder about compressing these streams a little bit so they're not so painful to watch. But yeah, thanks a lot, you guys. I appreciate you watching. Maybe I'll try and do this more often in the future. I like to analyze these fun sets with characters that we haven't seen too much of, and players that we haven't seen too much of. On Base's channel, I used to analyze Base's matches a lot because he was posting mostly his own. But having character and player variety is nice. And this was a nice set with going down to the wire like this. So thanks for watching, you guys. Thanks to Delta and Illusion for being good sports and letting me critique their play without yelling at me. And yeah, I will catch you guys later. Have a good night.